Hello, and good evening. I hope everyone's doing okay. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. Please let me know if you can hear me and see me okay. Right, let's see. And the new in is coming with the internet. It hopefully be fixed. Hopefully. Hey, zebra, crab, checking food. That's absolutely. That's absolutely for number one. If you can see me and hear me, okay. If good, just make sure. Through loud. Oh, hello, people. Oh, hello. I've got my petty farm shirt. Hey, got my petty farm shirt. There you go. Okay, how are you? You're well. I've got my gosh, what's happening? Being a bit of trouble. Should be fine. Internet connect. Well, the new uh starting on well the so I'm trying to I start okay. Just got I get a blue key. Nina Gonzo. No, it's robotic copy. Yes, it is. For some reason, my bad and um the new on Monday, so I think we'll get better service day. But let's see how we get on. Just 1 second. It's buffering. Oh God. Let me turn. Just 1 second. Okay. should be fine now. Hopefully it should be fine now. Okay, how is it now, guys? Please let me know. How does this look now? Does it look better? I hope it's not choppy. Your blue thingy. What blue thingy? What blue thingy are you talking about? I'm not sure what you're on about. What blue thingy? Much better. If at any point to deep, please either wrong. There's something wrong, and they tell me what's wrong. The new service. No, not good. Right. The trouble is an out. Just one reason. Wait. This. Okay, guys, please let me know if this is okay. Should be okay now. Fingers crossed it's okay now. And we need to get started. Hello, Porsche Gatler. Hello. Data. Okay, I might turn my camera off just. Okay, right. And how's everyone doing? Nina Gonzo, Soren, Blue. Let's see. We've got here Ultras here to BGTV. Hello. Yes, I've got my Petty Farm shirt. Look out for number 1. Crab apples, bodaciously bitter fruits. Oh wow, what a name. Big zebra, Beowulf and coffee. Fekinel. Right, guys, so let's get started. Right. For some reason, what's his name? Gman. He had a well, he was responding to one of my videos about him. And I was in the chat and I made a comment. And for some reason, this idiot, right? Today I'm going to be I'm not going to be nice with him because he's not a nice person. So this idiot decided to twist my words. And I'm going to show you guys how deceitful G-Man is, how much of a deceitful person. One thing I don't do, I don't lie about people. I don't tell tales about people. I usually would review videos. I don't need to find out about people's personal lives. That's none of my business. I don't engage in that kind of thing. I only come online, look at your video and review. And so I'm going to show here the interaction I had with Gman. So Gman says that I claimed that I started to think when I turned 40 years old. I said no such thing. Gman is just a liar and a deceiver. That's all he is. So before we start the debate, I just wanted to clear that up. Two things I need to clear up. Let's see. Let me share this here.
Seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. That's what you did, ma'am. The fool has said in his heart that there is no God. Remember that. That ain't going to go away because GTV ain't around no more. The fool.
So Gman claims that I said I started to think when I turned 40 years old. And for some reason, he keeps on saying it. He keeps on. But I said no such thing. Not once, not ever. Because that's just not true. So I've gone back and, to his chat to go to that conversation so you all can see how deceitful this gentleman is. So, right. Can you guys hear the video okay? Please let me know if you can hear the video okay. Okay.
Fool. Only a fool walks around here claiming that there's no God. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. I know it by heart. That the day of the Lord won't even come until there's a great falling away. There's going to be a lot of people leaving Christianity. Who do you think you are? You're not special. All you're doing is fulfilling Bible prophecy, which brings me to my major point. And the major point is this. You stop following after Jesus Christ, and now you're following Satan. So your man don't teach. Oh, yes, I do, man. And I'm teaching right now. You see, when it says that people are going to depart from the faith, giving heed or listening to doctrines of devils, that means you started listening to Satan and you stopped listening to Jesus. There's only two doctrines out there, man, and only two. One of them belongs to Jesus and the apostles, and the other one belongs to Satan. And the doctrines you now hold to, man, like phony Beatlemaniacs and everyone else on here who are really atheists on here at the end, or people who claim to be atheists, these people are following Satan.
I don't know if you guys can see the chat, but I will tell you what I wrote.
She says, let me put this on here so that you can see this here. She says, G-Man, you are such a liar. I said no such thing. I said I was 40 years old when I left. Okay. So if you left when you were 40.
So this is my comment. I said, G-Man, you are such a liar. I said no such thing. I said I was 40 years old when I left Christianity. This guy, right, with a hand on my head emoji. That's what I said. I said, G-Man, you are such a liar. I said no such thing. I said I was 40 years old when I left Christianity. That's the comment, what he has highlighted right there. Now, listen to how he's going to twist my words. And now this idiot goes around saying that I said something I never said. Such a liar. This guy, he is just, there's something wrong with this individual called Gman. Why do you lie on people like this? Had said no such thing. Okay, here we go.
Okay. So if you left when you were 40, that means you started thinking when you was 40. You said that you are thankful that you started thinking. I told you, if you're going to make a YouTube video about me, you have better do your research, because you amateur hour people on here don't understand. I listen to every syllable that comes out your mouth. Make a mistake if you want. So let me
guys,
get
did you see what just happened
when you became 40? So what were you doing for 39 years?
Can you see what just happened? Okay, let me go back, right? So you guys can see I said no such thing. And this idiot just, I think he thinks he's trying to score points. He thinks he's trying to have one on me.
Here we go right here.
Idiots.
Let me put this on here so that you can see this here.
Fool. Big fool.
G-Man, you are such a liar. I said no such thing. I said I was 40 years old when I left. Okay.
When I left what? So, Christianity.
If you left when you were 40, that means you started thinking when you was 40. You said that you are thankful that you started thinking. I told you, if you're going to make a YouTube video about me, you have better do your research, because you amateur hour people on here don't understand. I listen to every syllable that comes out your mouth. Make a mistake if you want. So let me get this straight here, man. You started thinking when you became 40. So what were you doing for 39 years?
Idiots.
Just curious. What were you doing for 39 years? Since you started to think when you were 40.
So someone just made a comment in the chat, which exactly, JG, is he saying that Christians don't think? So if I was 40 years old when I walked away from Christianity, and G-Man says I was 40 when I started thinking, guess what? All Christians don't think. All Christians are brainwashed individuals going by G-Man's logic. So if I left Christianity when I turned 40, but this buffoon here decides to twist my words and say something I didn't say, that I started to think, and thank goodness I did think. Thank goodness for thinking, that I walked away from that toxic religion that tells you that you are a sinner. You are a sinner for a sin you never committed. Two people ate a fruit, and the God of Christianity condemns the whole of humanity because two people ate a fruit. The people who don't get it, indeed, they're not thinking. So going by this fool, and I'm going to call him a fool, going by this fool's logic, all Christians do not think. So the next time he brings this up, you remind him that he is nothing but a liar and a con. This guy has a failed YouTube career. The people he started YouTube with 10 years ago, they're all doing fantastic things. Look at him. Look at him. Look where he is now. Having back and forth with all sorts of people. Slaving himself away for his racist masters. What a pathetic life. Hello, everyone. New way of thinking. Hello. Good to see you here. It took G-Man days to come up with a tirade. Just took apart in 6 seconds. I know. Can you imagine that? Okay. Now, that was one thing. Well, let's hear the rest of this so you can see how evil this person they call G-Man is.
40. And then you guys wonder why you guys get G-smacked all the time.
You G-smacked.
What were you doing? Rebuke and reprove as a teacher.
People in the chat are even saying you are twisting her words. Someone says he always
39 years of not
strawmans.
thinking? How did you get through life, man? How do you even learn how to cross the street if you started thinking when you became
How did I learn how to cross the street? This idiot has been hit by how many? 4 cars. 4. I have never been hit by a car a day in my life. I've never broken a bone one day in my life. Never. I can't compare myself with this trash. I don't usually do this on my channel, but since he wants to go on and tell lies, and all liars will not go into heaven. So Gman has cancelled his way into heaven since he chooses to lie against me.
40 years old. Think about it. That's all of their testimonies. Oh, when I turned 25, I started thinking. Matt Dillahunty, when I was in my teens or my 20s, I started thinking.
Yes,
so
Jerome, he's been hit by four cars.
I'm just saying. You're trying to get me mad by bringing up all this stuff in the live chat, and you don't even understand that I'm paying attention to every syllable coming out of your mouth.
He's paying attention. He's paying attention, but he just cannot make sense of what people say. This guy's, there's something wrong. Some knots are loose in the brain somewhere. Something's not adding up. So he's listening, and yet he's not getting it. People are saying in the chat, you are a clown. You are deluded. What's good, clown? People were just coming for him because they could see that he was twisting my words, and for some reason he's just decided to tell this lie. For every time that Gman tells this lie about me, something I never said, he's on his way to hell. Congratulations, Gman.
You started thinking at the age of 40? Woman, you got bigger problems than worrying about what Gman is doing. I feel pretty good now. This lady said she started thinking when she was 40. That's quite sad. I mean, think about this. She lives in the United Kingdom. She has a queen that's going, excuse me, Shani, do you know where I can get some booty? She's out there doing that. And then
now he's coming for Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth is talking, excuse me, Shani. Who the hell is that? Who the hell is Shani? What is this idiot talking about? Guys, I don't know. This guy is trash.
She admits to everybody she started thinking when she turned 40. That means for 39 years, she was a vegetable. Wow. For 39 years, well, actually, she's not really all that upset about me calling her a vegetable, considering she claims that she shares a common ancestor with a tomato.
What an awesome Christian.
Tomatoes
going to hell,
right? Okay, so since she committed, since she thinks she has a common ancestor with a carrot.
Hello, Mary Simshine. Hello, good to see you.
When you admit
here.
to everybody, you started thinking when you turned 40. Here she goes. She goes back to this here. Here he goes.
Okay. What did I say in the chat?
At least some of us think.
Right.
Not threatening people and doxing children.
So I said, at least some of us think and not threaten. And what did I say? Not threaten and dox people's children. Some of us use our brains. We don't go around threatening people. Fool. Big fool.
The people that you're talking about are doing worse. They call CPS about children, about things that are not happening. They're actually committing child abuse.
They're committing child abuse
by pretending they're helping the children. And ma'am, I'm pretty sure you're one of them. You know, when you started thinking and everything, ma'am. Anyway, I want to go back to this comment that you made about you started thinking when you turned 40. Tell me something. So at the age of 40, you started getting offended about slavery, right? Because for 39 years, you didn't even know what slavery was because you couldn't think, according to your own testimony. You couldn't even think. Tell me something, ma'am. If you couldn't think, how did you reason? How was you able to reason with people if you couldn't think? I'm just curious. I'm just curious. I mean, for all of you out there aspiring people to become atheists and whatnot, remember what that lady said. That lady said that she started thinking when she turned 40. It took this woman, listen to this, guys. It took her an entire lifetime to learn how to think. It took her, not an entire lifetime. It took her half a lifetime. It took her half a lifetime because most people die at the age of 70 or 80. So it took her half a lifetime.
So guys, you see what he's trying to do. He's trying to score points here. Yeah. He thinks he's got one on me, but the joke is on the idiot because he's the one who has the belief that if he's the one that has the Christian beliefs, if you lie, you go to hell. And in Christianity, all sins, there's no sin. All sins are equal. There's no great sin and big sin, small sin. All are sin, and all will get you into hell. So, Gman, carry on saying things I never said or I never meant. You are on the way to hell, and let me tell you, I love that for you. After your years of on YouTube preaching Christ, your one singular statement of lying on me, right, will get you in the eternal lake of fire. Congratulations, Gman, you've done it. You have hit the big time. Honestly, you're doing so well. Okay, guys, so that was one thing I wanted to clear up. The second thing I wanted to clear up is Afrohumanist finally read through the Divine Comedy. Paradiso is beautiful. Let's see. He quickly moved away from that comment, just like when exactly I said there that the people who think don't dox people's children, neither do they threaten to kill people. But of course, he quickly read through and he's just idiot. Okay, so another thing I wanted to clear up here is and thank you BGTV for supplying us this video, this beauty here. So I'm going to play a little bit of this and I will explain why I have decided to play Gman's epic rage rant.
I took some time to think about what was the best way to go about making this particular video today. Because I was going to say, and I was going to do some things. Just to give you guys an idea of what I was going to do. I was going to dot draw some people in here immediately. tell you where they lived, tell you where they worked, tell you where their wife worked, where their kid goes to school. I was going to tell you everything you needed to know about certain people on YouTube. Not a good idea. And I thought about it some more. And I said, I know, I'll give away their phone numbers, their email addresses. I'll give away all the stuff that they want to keep private or whatever. But I thought it's not the best thing to do, especially not now, not yet anyway. I thought maybe I should drive over to their homes, pull out a revolver, and let them know what it's like, and show them what it really means to make things personal. But I thought about it, and I said, you want to know what? No, I don't think that's the best way to go about doing it. So now that I'm calm and I had an opportunity to think about what I wanted to say, this is what I'm going to do today on the Sowing and Reaping YouTube channel. What was done to their car was done on my property. I am the home owner.
So did you guys hear that? Let me take it back so you can hear what our dear Christian friend was trying to do. And you know, in Christianity, there is such a thing as what's it called? Thought crime. Right? In Christianity, you only need to think it. It's enough to make you a sinner. It's enough. You only need to look at a woman or look at a man. If you think nice things, if you think, oh, they look so gorgeous, I wish I could get in bed, that's it. You're a sinner. As far as Christianity is concerned, you are punished for thought crimes. So even if Gman does not carry out his threats, the fact that he has thought about it, Gman is the perfect candidate for hell. Everywhere he turns, everything he does, he's just stacking his hell cards, right? Stacking them up. He's bound for hell. Like it or not, if there is such a place, Gman will be the first one to go there.
First, allow me to say hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sowing and Reaping YouTube channel. I took some time to think about what was the best way to go about making this particular video today, because I was going to say, and I was going to do some things just to give you guys an idea of what I was going to do. I was going to dot draw some people in here, tell you where they lived, tell you where they worked, tell you where their wife worked, where their kid goes to school. I was going to tell you everything you needed to know about certain people on YouTube. Not a good idea. And I thought about it some more. And I said, I know, I'll give away their phone numbers, their email addresses. I'll give away all the stuff that they want to keep private or whatever. But I thought it's not the best thing to do, especially not now, not yet anyway. I thought maybe I should drive over to their homes, pull out a revolver, and let them know what it's like, and show them what it really means to make things personal. But I thought about it, and I said, you want to know what? No, I don't think that's the best way to go about doing it. So now that I'm calm and I had an opportunity to think about what I wanted to say, this is what I'm going to do today on the Sowing and Reaping YouTube channel. What was done to do.
So this video is 44 minutes long, but that's not what I'm going to talk about today. So Gman, wait, let me see. Let me turn my camera on. Don't know if you guys can see me here. So Gman said something. He said he only debates his equals. And so he would not have a debate with me. Number one, I don't do debates. That's number one. He said he does not debate his equals, right? I do not engage in conversations with potential killers. I do not engage in conversation with people who threaten to kill people. This video is 44 minutes long of Gman threatening to kill people, to release private information of their families, of their children. He's got Mrs. Parker's husband's social security number. What he needs that for, I don't know. He has threatened. In this video, he said he was going to kill, well, he threatened to kill someone and bury them, put their body in a box, in a coffin box, and bury them 20 feet below ground. He also said that he will he will kick Mrs. Parker so hard in her belly until she loses, she might lose a baby or something of that sort, and even started to call her miscarriage. Gman is not my equal. Not now, not ever. I do not engage with potential killers. I do not engage with people who boldly come online and threaten to kill people over a tire. Gman said in this video he would pull up to someone's house in Texas and pull out a revolver and shoot at them. Gman said so. And this potential criminal thinks that we are equals. I've never had to threaten anyone in my life. We are not equals, Gman. So do you, okay? Do you? But the fact that you thought about it, the fact that you and the worst part, the day after he did this video, he was online preaching Jesus, about the second coming of Jesus. This trashy human talking about he does not debate his equals. I'll tell you who Gman's equals are. Gman's equals are murderers. Gman's equals are criminals. Gman has private information of people, which he has released. There are videos online of Gman doxing people. Gman has lied on people. Blatant lies. Guys, let me just... So 2 things I wanted to clear up. Number 1, nowhere did I say that I was thinking. I started to think when I turned 40. I was a vegetable before I turned 40. And number 2, Gman is not my equal. My equals are not criminals. My equals are not potential killers. No, thank you. The fact that you went there. I know. Yeah, those exactly, Mary Sunshine. Those are his equals. His equals are grifters, thieves. Exactly. And you all can name them in here. Who Gman's equals are. Talk about, I don't debate my equals. Who do you think you are? And the very next day goes to talk about the second coming of Christ. I told Gman, you need to apologize. I have no ill will to this gentleman. He's a black man on YouTube. My heart goes out to him, honestly, because the rate at which he's going to do some real damage to himself and to others. And it's a shame to see a black man have such after 10 years, resort to threatening to kill people. Failed career. Failed mission. Sad. Okay. Right. So, okay, I think I've got my my points across. And now we can go and have a look at the video for today. I don't debate my equals. As if. So this is an old video of our dear friend Gman. He likes to engage in conversations about the Bible. You know, he thinks that he's the go-to for the Christians online. Gman talks about people slandering him. He has threatened people with physical jail. I don't know how he calls it. Physical jail for talking about him. I don't need to know anything about his personal life. I'm not interested. I'm only interested in his YouTube career. For somebody who has come online and talked about Christianity, where has the Christianity taken him? He professes he's got Jesus, he's got God, he's got. How has this helped this man? What has his. Listen, guys, please don't get me wrong. I'm not saying all Christians are like him. No. No. But for someone who has such a vile rhetoric, his version of Christianity. I saw videos, and I never knew the lady called Jade. Never. I saw what he did to that woman. No. Everything Dragnot did to him, Dragnot really took his time, and I think it was the summer of Gman. He deserved all of that because he is a vile human being. And you would think that after 10 years, that his rhetoric would have at least maybe softened or maybe changed, but no. So anyways, let's go and have a look at please let me know if you can hear this video,
less
guys.
Evil form, or since it's in the Bible, it's not evil at all because it's in the Bible itself. But tell me, what's your thoughts on that? Are we misunderstanding? Because I know everybody loves playing that Matt Dillahunty clip with you in it, with you versus him. So, what are your thoughts on
it? Okay, from a biblical standpoint, I don't think the things that God condones in the Bible involving slavery is wrong. I'm not going to really say a lot about what Michael said because Michael already admitted that he didn't really spend a lot of time studying this. He obviously knows something about it. So I'm not going to really spend a lot of time talking about that. But as far as scripture goes, what God actually condones,
physical jail.
And when I say condone, I mean the things that he's saying, do this, and this. There's nothing wrong or anything immoral about that. I think the problem that the atheist community is having with me regarding slavery in the Bible is when I made the comment, when I said to them that that there's nothing wrong in of itself for a human being to own another human being.
So Gman is what I would consider a dangerous Christian. He's the kind of Christian that reads the Bible literally. I heard Gman talking about the flood story. Oh gosh, no, the Noah's the flood and Noah. And somebody asked Gman, so how did the kangaroos from Australia get on the boat? Do you know what Gman answered? Gman's reply was, Gman said, he doesn't think that there were any animals up in Australia and in those places. He thinks that the animals were only in the locality of the flood. He said because, you know, the world had just been created, right? So there was only a small number of animals. And he doesn't think that animals would have the population of animals would have got so big to the extent of getting up to Australia. He thinks that it is after the flood, then the animals started to grow and to double up and to make their way to Australia. Honestly, this guy.
Please stop there. We're not talking about how the person is treated, how the person will be treated, nothing like that. I don't think that there's anything morally wrong about a human being owning another human being. And I know Michael said that. He said that that one of the reasons why it would be wrong because they don't have any rights, and you can't get out of that agreement. And that's something common that I usually get with the people that have a problem with what I'm saying with this. What they're not getting is that, let's say hypothetically speaking, LaSoya, that I own you, okay, and I give you $1 trillion and tell you to go do as much good for humanity as possible. How is that wrong? Let's say I own you and I want you to go out there and do something that's going to be beneficial to humanity. How is that wrong? You can't, until I actually own you and tell you what to do. You can't necessarily tell me that the very act of owning you and what I'm going to do with you in the future is wrong because you don't know what I'm going to do with you. Okay. That's what's driving these people on YouTube crazy, because I don't think there's anything wrong with human beings owning another human being. Crazy. As far as what God condones in the Bible, most people have never even studied this topic of slavery in the Bible. And I'll admit, about a year ago, I didn't know that much about it myself until the atheists started beating me up about it. You know what I mean? And I really started getting into it. Really started getting into it. And I have a much better understanding of it now than I did before I got on YouTube. But yeah, what God condones in Scripture, there's nothing immoral about it. And I can get into details about it. Like, for example, if we would, later on in this conversation, when we compare and contrast what we see with the transatlantic slave trade with what the Bible says, there are big differences there. Number one, if you run away as a slave in Scripture, you let him go free. You do it in the transatlantic slave trade, and you catch him, you can end up like a kute kite and off with your foot or something, or they'll beat you to death or something. That was not permitted in the Scripture. And I know 13 is like salivating at the teeth to be able to show me how I'm wrong.
I think I'm convinced that Gman. Oh no, not convinced. I feel like Gman reads the Bible on a surface level and does not understand it, or he deliberately lies. The Bible literally tells you that you can beat the slave as long as the slave does not die. If the slave dies, then there is punishment for you if the slave dies. But I think it's just a deliberate, deceitful act by Gman. He chooses to lie for his God and his religion. That's what I think.
And whatnot, but we'll see when we dig into that Bible. I'll stop there for now.
All right. So unfortunately, Serious Joe couldn't make it tonight. He's not feeling all that well. So we have Shadow here because we have to have our diversity tax credit. So we got the atheist on the show with us. So
you weren't supposed to tell them about the taxes.
Thanks.
Well, in this case, I don't know how much I'll apply for that tax credit because
Oh,
I care about the Old Testament and I care about how the Jews regarded in terms of the history of it. Now, when this topic first came up and I first heard people basically stating that they didn't think that slavery was wrong, and on the other side, with some of the atheist arguments, I decided to get to the root of it. So I went to some places that taught classes in the Hebrew law to see what the actual truth was. And I found that, frankly, both sides had been wrong about this for quite a long time in terms of it. Now, the standard considerations that one should do pertaining to this particular time period is that slavery was simply a fact of life at the time. It was simply part of society. As for what is specifically in the Old Testament that was stated by God deliberately as this is God's code of how to do this, and what was simply a manifestation of the culture at the time, and what was a matter of things that were passed down by the Sanhedrin in how to enact varied laws and what have you and govern these things. That's really the key to this, because we can't really know for a fact which of these things were passed down by the leadership at the time and which things pertaining to slavery were considered to be directly from God. This is something that's mostly lost because there certainly was a lot of political aspects in there. You can see this with the back and forth that goes in terms of when there's a prophet, there are simply two, each of them bringing an alternate message to the other. One would be considered the greater prophet and one would be considered the lesser prophet, and this would be weighed out by time. But even then, the history of Judea isn't a history of good, loyal servants of God. We're talking about people that were often belligerent, often didn't do what they were told, and often would get in a lot of trouble. I mean, you can go all the way back to the Ten Commandments with this, with them coming down, and you'd only been up there 30 days and they're already following another god. And of course, there was punishment doled out and what have you. But then you go to, for example, I believe it was Abraham, who at one point sent out an army that they were given strict instructions to go and kill every.
Guys, how many of you think, while this gentleman is taking his time to explain all of this, how many of you think that Gman is listening? All the conversations that I have watched Gman engage in, he's always fiddling about. He's always he's I don't know. He comes across like someone who has attention deficit disorder, right? ADHD, that just cannot settle. It's not a bad thing as long as you recognize that you have this disorder, but he just cannot settle. If he's not speaking, he's got to be, he's just all over the place, and he is usually not listening. Usually he is not listening.
Man, woman, and child, and they saw the pretty women that hadn't played with the men and said, "Well, we're going to bring them back." And he says, "What are you doing? The Lord said kill them all." And they said, but they're pretty. So he goes and talks to the Lord, and he goes, "Oi, what am I going to do with them?" And the Lord says, "Okay, here's what you do." And told him, "It's fine, you can keep them." And this was essentially how that broke down. Then you have the character of Jonah, when you're dealing with Jonah and the whale. The reason why the whale was sent to begin with was they said, "Go talk to the city." He goes, "They hate me there. I'm not going there." And he fought and he fought and he argued and he argued, and the whale swallowed him and spat him out. And you can also go to things like the story of Sodom and Gomorrah, where you have Abraham actually negotiating with God as to, well, what if you find 100 people? What if you find 10? What if you only find one? So this shows that the divinity that's being presented to the Jews is one that, well, they can be negotiated with, also has some understanding for the culture and the times in which the people live. And I think that that's a fairly strong argument for why it should be exempted from being considered a moral atrocity at the time.
Mary Sunshine, this was not to disparage people that have ADHD. No, not at all. And thank you for sharing that. And, I'm glad that you at least you recognize that you've got this, and, you're managing it well. The thing with Gman is, I don't think he doesn't come across like someone who will go and see a doctor, see his doctor. He comes across like one of these people who has, if he has an ailment, he would rather pray about it. Jesus, heal me, and I'm healed, and never go to the doctors. He just would maybe read in the Bible where it says, his stripes have made you, his stripes have healed you. And there, he won't go. He thinks because he runs the marathons, so he is as fit as, he thinks he is. Well, these are just my opinions. I think he doesn't come across like one who, all the videos I've watched, I've never really heard him say, "I went to the doctors." Oh, well, okay. Let me take that back. Except when he, of course, had his UTIs. But I think that was an emergency. That was he had to get the atheists to come take him. It was an emergency. And the other time was when he was in the closet at the hospital. Why would someone be in a closet in the hospital recording YouTube videos. I still don't understand it. Till this day, I don't understand why anyone. Guys, imagine yourself at your doctor's appointment. You're at your doctor's, you know, while you're there, all you think about is, okay, whatever took you there to begin with. But this guy looks for a closet in a hospital to sneak into, to go record himself, to go record YouTube, and has the audacity to tell the people, I'm in a closet in the hospital. My. Ooh.
Because it was so much of the society at the time. But beyond that, in terms of the way that they actually treated slavery, the group of the Mitzvot, that's the 613 laws that are dealing with this, it breaks it up into two different kinds of slavery. There's the Ived Ivri, which is the Hebrew slave, and the Ived Canaanite, which is the non-Hebrew slave. Now, as for the non-Hebrew slave, it gives very strict instructions as to where they can get these people from, how they can be treated.
Okay, Nina Gonzo, thank you for
of
coming.
all things along these lines, as well as how long they're kept.
Here.
Incidentally,
oh, how nice.
Incidentally, the 7-year Jubilee period, that once Jubilee comes around, people have to be let go. That only applies to the Hebrew slaves, not to the Canaanite slaves, which would be any non-Jewish slave.
This man is just wasting his time doing all these
there's a loophole in the case that
explaining.
if you give a wife to a Hebrew slave, and they come to the time when it's time for them to go free, they can pledge their allegiance to their master, have an awl driven through their ear, and then they will be a slave forever. But there's also a loophole on the other side, which is that if one of the Canaanite slaves decides, I'd like to become a member of your nation, I'd like to become Hebrew, what they can then do is go through a year-long process to attempt to become Hebrew. And at the end of that process, if they succeed, they are to let go regardless of when Jubilee is, because they are now considered one of the people, and they are to be let go and have their own existence and are no longer considered a slave. However, at the end of that year, if they fail, they are immediately to be given to another master so that they can restart the process. So there are loopholes on both sides. Now, in a case of somebody that is, for example, a Hebrew slave that has been given a wife, he can certainly urge his spouse to try and go through the process to become Hebrew, and thus allow her to be freed when he is as well. So it's a much more in-depth and nuanced situation than either side tends to consider. In looking through these ancient cultures, comparative to the cultures around that of ancient Israel, the slaves, whether they be Ived Ivri or Ived Canaanite, actually were treated better typically than the slaves of the surrounding areas. And this is something that is significant and should be noted within that culture. And before I go and write too much of a novel, I guess I should probably let somebody else talk.
Exactly.
For a while.
Let's see what.
If we could participate, we'd be really. No, I'm giving you a hard time. So let me hold your feet to the fire, though. Did you just say
Creamon is back?
Within the context, it was okay and moral given the time?
Given the time period, and due to the fact that literally every culture was doing this, it was simply part of the cultural fabric. Now, to say that it was right for them to own people from a modern context, I would say no. But here's the thing. In that time period, this was so throughout the general fabric of every society.
So look out for number one, that comment. I really appreciate that. He said he was treating him with respect. And that's something that Gman does not accord, does not give to other people. He does not give other people the respect that they deserve. Try going to talk to Gman. He will shut you down. He will treat you as if you are just trash. He does not know how to have a decent conversation with people. No wonder he has a failed YouTube career. He's failed at everything. No wonder. He's got no tolerance, no patience, nothing. I pity the woman who will get with this. Well, I've seen a video where he claims he has a wife. But for some reason, he never talks about his wife. But whatever the case, can you imagine G-Man with a significant other? Can you imagine that? I bet you would be like his slave. You tell her, go and cook, go and clean, go and do this, because he believes a woman's place is very misogynistic. The woman's place is in the kitchen. The man is the head. The man has to rule. The man has to be the controller general of the home.
That you just couldn't get away with it, and expecting one culture at that time period to completely walk away from this would have been foolhardy.
Okay. Michael, I got a quick question for you, and then we'll go back to G-Man. Well, Shadow, I'm going to ask you this too. G-Man has said that it's...
Tito
G-Man, correct me if I said this wrong, but it's not necessarily wrong to own a person. It depends.
Okay, for those of you that do not know, there's a comment on there. I'm not quite sure the details of this, but G-Man started to be friends with someone online. This lady called Indigo. Well, her name is Indigo, but he calls her Indigo. And so I don't know what on earth went on with G-Man and this woman. Somehow they got a hotel room. And G-Man had parted ways with $1,300 given to this woman. They spent the night together. I don't know if they engaged in any... I don't think they engaged in any sexual whatever. I really don't know. But I did see the video where the woman, the next day, she had on G-Man's clothes. And the two of them were all like lovey-dovey. G-Man gave this woman his laptop. She was streaming from... G-Man was all giddy. You need to see G-Man in the back. I'm thinking, okay, what's happening here? Indigo. Coitus. I don't know if they had coitus. Only G-Man and Indigo would know. But whatever the case, it looks like they had a good night, because the morning after, you need to have seen G-Man. Oh, she had gone and put on one of G-Man's jersey. You know those jerseys that G-Man wears? She was in one of them. She was streaming from his laptop. G-Man was in the back. He was going... He was all over the place. Like, okay, looks like someone had a good night. Good on you, G-Man. Good. Oh, hail Indigo. There we go. Someone says, I think I'm in love. Where's that comment I saw here? Someone said, I think I'm in love. Mary Sunshine says, I think I'm in love. Okay. Oh, gosh. This guy.
On the situation. How do you guys feel about that specifically?
No, that's not what I said.
Well, say it one more time.
That is not... Yeah, that is not wrong to own a person in of itself. Owning the act of owning another person in of itself is not wrong.
Okay, yeah, I got what he was saying.
It is not wrong to own a person in of itself. Whether in of itself or out of itself, it is wrong to own your own fellow human. G-Man. The lens that some Christians will go to justify... Oh, God. The lens some Christians will go to justify the nonsense in their Bible. This one is now talking about it is not wrong to own a human in of it. Who taught G-Man that? Every time, in of itself, G-Man, this is wrong. on all whatever you call it, however you look at it, however you describe it, it is wrong to own your fellow human. And to think a black man is here talking this thing, it just saddens me.
But allow me to paraphrase G-Man, and you tell me if I'm full of crap or not. You're saying that it is not a morality issue in simply ownership, that's morality neutral. That's simply a status. It's contingent upon how you behave as a slave owner that would make it moral or
okay,
immoral.
Soren, what you doing owning people here
Would
now?
you say
Soren?
that's fair?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Soren, what are you talking about? The last 5 people you owned. What the hell? I'm here trying my best to try and tell people how immoral it is to own people, how so wrong it is, and here you are, Soren, talking about you own 5 people. What's happening here? Soren, come on now.
Exactly.
Yeah. I can see where you're coming from.
No,
with
I
that.
can't.
I disagree, but I can see where I would say that at least your position as far as people that would quote unquote endorse slavery, that would be I would say a somewhat moderate position, not a radical position by any stretch. You're simply separating where the morality is to away from the fact of ownership and towards a specific behavior. The reason I find the ownership part immoral, or at least repugnant, is that it's this once you own the other person, then that person's redress, recourse rights are gone. That is no longer legally a person. It is a piece of cattle and nothing more. And I'm not necessarily talking just about ancient Israel. That's simply a fact. If you own something, like I own this glass. This glass has no rights. If I decide to take this glass and throw it in the fireplace and burn it, that's my business because it's my property, unless doing so would violate some other law, like releasing noxious fumes or something like that. But as far as the government is concerned, there's nothing wrong with me destroying this glass because it's my property. And
Property.
I don't believe that people fall into that category. I do believe that life is, I believe in, as our Constitution says, all men are created equal. If one man can own another, they are not equal. There is no equal treatment under the law. There is no individual rights for the enslaved. And so that I simply cannot get past that.
So I will just describe what goes on in African traditions. In African traditions, you can have what they call a house help, right? In some cases, they call them slaves. They call them, what other names do they have for them? So, but these people who are your house helps, you pay them. But for the time that they're with you, they serve you. You're their master for the time that they're with you. And in most cases, you find that the money goes to their family members. So it's their family members have actually, because they've got no money. So it's their family members that's given this child, they're usually young children, giving that child up to be a slave to a master, to go help out with the babies, help out with cleaning, cooking, all this stuff. And the money is paid to the family, not even to the actual slave, because usually they're youngsters. But it's the treatment of these people that is just problematic in most cases, because these slaves they're maltreated. They're God, guys. There was one there's a case of this was many years ago now. Let me turn my camera on. This was many years ago, right? I remember, yeah, growing up with Massa. Yes, I remember many years ago there was our neighbors had one of such. They had a house girl. I don't know what the young girl did. We just were looking from the balcony, just looking downstairs at what was happening. They were beating this girl. They beat her. Guys, by the time they were done beating her, it was broad daylight. You know what they did? They stripped her naked. Should have been about 12 or 13, I think. They stripped her naked. After stripping her naked, someone went in the kitchen and blend some Scotch bonnet. You know the Scotch bonnet chili, right? They ground the Scotch bonnet chili and brought it and put some in her private part. I was upstairs watching this. I could never. It's stuck in my head. I would never forget. I don't know what she did. I really cannot tell you what she did. But that was her punishment. After beating her, they stripped her naked for the whole, we lived in like a compound then. Everyone could see her. And they put what you call it, the chili in her. She screamed and screamed. I don't know what she did. But that's just slave. So Gman talking about, oh, it's okay to own someone in of itself. I don't know what you're talking about. Indentured servitude. In the Bible days, the children are the property of the slave master. Any child that's born in that scenario is the property of the slave master. Children never go free. Women never go free. So immoral. So immoral. Yes, Mary Sunshine, absolutely. It's stuck. Listen, that's just one of many. That's just one of many. The way slaves are treated. But the good thing now is, now there are people with their phones. They're starting to record things. I've seen videos of a family. They've gone out to go and have after church on Sunday. They're all in their Sunday best, going to have a meal. Mother, father, and children are eating chicken and eating really nice meal at this restaurant. And the house girl is sitting there just looking at them. They've ordered nothing for her. And someone, videoed this and put it online. So now people are starting to record the treatment of these people. And I'm so glad for video recorders.
Point as far as ownership.
Do you think the Bible at any point endorses it? Yeah, I think you've said that, but reiterate, Michael. Do you think the Bible at any point endorses it or just codifies it?
I think that what Shadow Heathen was saying was pretty close to what I think is that it's a reflection of culture, but it's not a rousing endorsement from God. It's simply an acceptance that this is going to happen.
So it's God's acceptance of culture at the time?
I believe so. I think that I don't think that I would say that from a believing standpoint, that you would say that God has recognized that slavery is a necessary part of this culture based on multiple mitigating circumstances. And as such, I'm going to at least put down these basic ground rules. That doesn't necessarily mean that God is like jumping for joy every time someone buys another person. So I don't think that it's an out and out endorsement.
I think it could be further supported actually by the.
For me, an ex-Christian who's now an atheist, I struggle to understand why there is slavery in the Bible to begin with. I think that God could have, they tell us that the books of the Bible are inspired by God, right? Written by men, but inspired by God. So these are supposed to be God's words transferred to men, who then transferred them into scrolls and books. You would think that God would have better things to tell people. You would think that he would somehow transmute to the people how he created the universe, how he assembled the Milky Way, how he put all the, there were better things that he could tell people to write in the book that will help humanity now. You would think that God would invest his time into telling people how to make medicine to cure people. A holy book should have things that the average human does not even know, could have only come from a God. But no, the Christian God would rather have slavery and how to treat your slaves. And, thou shalt not get a Hebrew slave. You could treat your Hebrew slave better than you treat him. Ridiculous. How about God tell people how he created the universe in 7 days, or how many days he created everything? What came before what? Which Mars and your Uranus and all these things. How did he put all these things? I think that should have been what was in the book. Science, technology. No, he cares about slaves.
The notion of this God character having giving mankind free will and allowing us to actually utilize it.
Okay, can I say something now?
Yeah, I was going to say, go ahead. Yeah, just have a conversation. Doesn't have to have me in it.
Hey, dog.
All right.
Hello.
Going back to because I think we need to talk about some definitions here regarding slavery, because if I understand you right, Michael, in 13, I don't know if you or Shadow Heathen, I'm sorry, I don't know if you you agree with him, but it becomes wrong when your rights are taken away, and life, is that when it becomes wrong? Like with
No,
anything on another human being?
I don't believe that one person's rights or privileges supersede any others.
They chose
I believe that all people are equal.
Mary Sunshine.
And
Right.
as such, one person owning another one.
Right. So these are my own thoughts. These are my own opinions, right? They tell us that Jesus is coming back a second time. In my opinion, whatever he came to do the first time round didn't work. He failed the first time around. Because I'm still trying to figure out, what exactly did Jesus come to do? What was the idea behind that? Him coming. That was the one opportunity to rectify this slavery issue. That was the one chance they had. Jesus came to earth. Jesus was here to come and tell us what God truly wants. Jesus could have said, guys, my Father up there does not like slavery. No, you people have got it wrong. My Father says no slavery. Put a stop to it. Anyone who enslaves the other will not come to my kingdom, will not get this mansion he has promised to give people. But no, Jesus chose not to do that. Jesus chose to gallivant from town to town, just I tell people that if Jesus lived in this time that we live in now, he will be in jail. He would not survive, because think about the story when Jesus healed that man, the one that had the demons, the legion demons, right? So this man has demons inside him, and Jesus is engaging in conversation with the demons, and the demons say, Jesus, please don't kill us, just send us into the pigs. Whatever did those pigs do to Jesus? Jesus is God, so he has the power to banish those demons. But no, Jesus danced to the tune of the demons. The demon says, please do this for us. And Jesus danced to the tune of demons and killed all the pigs. What did the pigs do to deserve that kind of death? The people who were looking after the pigs had to run to the owners, the owner, to go and say, look what's happened. That Jesus has killed all your livestock. All the pigs gone just like that. And what did Jesus do next? He just moves on to the next city. What happened to animal rights? Pigs don't have rights.
Is obviously changing that position. You are no, if one person, if I own you or you own me, we are not equal. Period. And there's no way you can argue that we are, because one of our lives is worth less.
And I'm assuming that the problem is because your rights are taken away, right?
That's part of it. Yeah, that's a big part of it.
Your autonomy, one's ability to live their own life, make their own choices,
Exactly.
free will is stifled.
Yeah, as a slave.
Okay, let's think about that for.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry,
Okay,
man.
cool.
There's a
Let's
delay.
think oh yeah, don't worry about it. So let's think about that for a minute here. Okay, I can sign a contract agreement with another human being, and then my rights will be limited. I can sign a contract agreement with a bank, and most people in this country agree that the majority of us are slaves to these bankers.
Slave to bankers?
Through slave debt.
No.
Through contract agreement.
What the?
Well, let's just let me finish here, okay? If you own a house, for example, well, if you borrow the money from the bank and the house is in your name, technically it belongs to the bank, and you got to work until the house is paid for, and then after you die, if whoever next to kin to you don't necessarily have the money, you could lose your house to that very bank. That's a form of slavery. Your rights have been taken away. Okay, if you went to a
no, Jesus did not do what the pigs asked. Jesus did what the demons asked. Jesus obeyed the demons, danced to their tune, and decided to kill the pigs. Hashtag justice for pigs, right? Who's going to pay that price for killing those pigs? Jesus, that character was not such a nice person, in my opinion. And look, they make pigs look like, huh? That's why some people will come along and say they hate pigs. They don't eat pig. What did the pigs do to Jesus?
Contract agreement, and they're saying that you can do this and that you can't do that. That's taking away your rights too. If you sign a contract to join the NBA, the NFL, the NHL, if you sign a contract to join the military, where they straight up tell you they own your butt for X amount of years, according to the contract agreement that you gave.
Well, you get paid.
It's the same thing as taking away your rights. That's why I was focusing on what you said, Michael, regarding the immoral part being about taking away your rights. And then what about the people that voluntarily go into these situations in which their rights are taken away? Do we deem that immoral? How do we come to that conclusion? Do we base it on democracy, or do we base it on the theocracy that they're living in?
What's this one
let me
talking
respond to
about?
some of that. But first of all, like when you talk about the military, I think that's a good example. I am a veteran of the United States Army.
Okay.
And
Good.
I can tell you that while you might hear in movies people say, I own you, that is not literally true. In the military, you are subject to something called the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which supersedes the constitutional rights that citizens have as a member of the military because of the need for certain levels of discipline that are not necessary in the civilian world. However, I can tell you, as someone who served in the Army in the 1980s at a time when, for example, racial tension was much higher than it is today, everybody in the military is truly treated equal. That is some, in the military, no one person is worth any more than any other.
Mm-hmm.
Your rank on your sleeve is what matters, not
And the military
not
don't
anything else
own you
about
for
that
life.
person, and that rank must be earned and achieved. It's not something that's simply handed to you because
You are not the property of the army. When you have served your term, you get to go home. You get to leave. You don't stay in the army forever. And how are you a slave to a bank? Guys, how many of you are slaves to your banks? Is your bank not your slave? It's your money. Without your money, the bank crashes. Yeah, they use your money for whatever they use it for. But if everyone went to the bank and withdrew their money, that's it. Bank finished. Gman, no.
you show up. Now, as far as entering into a contract with a bank or any other type of institution where a lending contract or something. Now, I will say this, and I know that James will back me up wholeheartedly on this. The Bible has a lot to say about debt, and it does not say anything good about debt. And so that's something you should actually avoid. That you
Steve
should
McQueen
avoid those
manager, are you
contracts.
for real?
No, but besides
Steve
that,
McQueen manager, are you for real? No, he's never had a formal job. Are you for real? Or about the property, he now owns a property. G-Man says very soon he's going to be a multi-millionaire. Once he sells Rev's home, he's going to be richer than Elon Musk. G-Man is. He's going to be richer than Bill Gates once he sells that property. But I don't know, guys, if it is just me or what. I don't know. There's just something. When I said G-Man bought a house for $1, G-Man was saying, I think he was saying something along the lines of me being jealous that he bought a house for $1. No. If you buy a house for $1, what about maintenance of the house? What about paying the taxes on this house? Guys, how does one decide I will buy a house for $1 and expect to sell the house when the person you bought the house from is homeless? I don't understand how that works. So G-Man wants to be, he said he's going to be rich as when what Rev began with. Rev began with $750,000. G-Man reckons he's going to be as rich as what Rev started off with, maybe even richer. That means that G-Man he delights in Rev being poor. He wants to attain that position. What have you done to become a multimillionaire? You don't just stumble into, well, except you play the lottery. for something, but you just want to come into so much money. Well, I don't know. This whole idea of buying a house for $1. Listen, if he got that fair and square, then good on him. But I don't know. I just smell. Just a lot of things don't sit right with that whole arrangement between the three of them, and I feel like just in the near future it will all just burst. That bubble that they're creating between themselves, them three, the bubble is going to burst. And with Shani's big ass, that bubble. Oh, guys. That's an insult to Fali. And as a giant dick, I'm pretending to be offended. Oh, what are you talking about, Fali? What's Fali? I know phallus. I know what a phallus is, but they live in the trailer park of YouTube. The selling of the house for $1 was to try and secure the house and not let the bank take over. This is a typical maneuver, changing ownership for nothing. But then look out for number one. There will be expenses that come along with purchasing the house. I don't know how it works over in the US, but no, there will be other expenses that come with you purchasing the house. And G-Man G-Man is looking for money to feed that family. How's he going to pay for the expenses for this house? And from what I've heard, the house is not even in top shape. The house is run down. The kitchen, they said the kitchen was falling in or something. Guys, these people, I don't know. These people are like something out of a movie, something out of, it's like these people are not real. It's like hearing a story, but I'm like, what kind of universe do these people live in? Someone has a guys, imagine you're driving your car, you come out. May I join? Doug, absolutely. Yes. Don't leave me doing all my chit chat here all by myself. I'm sending the link in the chat. Why not? I've got a child-free weekend this weekend. My son has gone to his dad's. So tonight, I'm child-free. Tomorrow, I have, I've got a few things planned for tomorrow and Sunday morning before he gets back. He comes back on Sunday evening. So, yes. So yeah, let's do this here. So, why do you think he always broadcasts in the dark? He's trying to save. What's he trying to save? What's he trying to save? Please tell me, what's he saving? Electricity? Or what? Guys, these people just come across like that in a movie. They're just, it's like they're not real. Hello, dog.
Hi, my love. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. And you?
Oh, yeah, I'm brilliant. Yeah, I'm great. Why are you still
Right, all right,
hanging
Mary
on this
Sunshine.
Gman thing? He's a massive dick. Doesn't deserve anybody's time. Esther, come on.
Oh, there's a no. There's a reason why I did this. He's been going about making some. He's been telling some lies about me. He's been saying things I never said.
You are like the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp of YouTube at the moment, of the religious side of YouTube, except that he's the one full of shit. It's just
Hmm.
crazy that this man deserves any time whatsoever. He
No
is,
attention. I know that. I know. And well, the thing that I try to do with Gman's videos, when I review his videos, I don't get into drama, right? I'm not concerned for what he does with his private life. It's none of my business. I tend to review his Bible claims, right?
he is
The
all
things he
hatred,
talks
though.
about in the Bible. Hmm?
He is all hatred. He's a
It
typical
is.
Christian. It's just hatred and nastiness that comes from anybody who doesn't believe. Will is he's that typical Christian that just wants everyone else other than believers to die. He gives no one a benefit of the doubt of their own beliefs or atheism. Let's say he thinks that if you don't believe, you should die, and he will hate
Yes.
for that, and he gets
But
a
but
following for it.
but Doug, the thing is, I try to highlight where he's at. All the years of hate, all the years of preaching this religion of death and torture, and how far has it got him? He's not doing well in his life.
We
It's
can
I don't
exactly we can say about G-Man that he has his own everyday personal struggles with people
Mm,
as everyone else does, and but he deals with it just so badly with hatred, and yeah, he's not a nice person at all. But
no,
what
he
I see
isn't.
this in a lot of these apologetics that or apologists that they just this is how they behave, and this is how they. But I do believe he does behave in his own that he does this for attention. You know, I believe he is an
Mm,
attention seeker. He does have this hatred. I don't think he does hate everyone the way he says he does. I think he does it for attention.
I think why most times I really don't give him the time of day. I feel like there's something not quite right. I feel like there are things going on that we wouldn't know. And
Esther, he
I don't
believes
know, I
in
don't
God.
know.
His mind is already fucked up. He
But
believes
he can
in a guy in
change
a
though.
cloud that created everything. That his mind is already made up and fucked up. How
Mm,
he goes on from there with the hatred that he does portray. But we've seen him. We watched that big rant of his. It was like a couple of hours
yeah.
long rant about Shani and Rev and about a blown out tire, and he was just going
Mm,
mental about he was going to kill people and wanted people with babies to die, and it was just he's a nasty piece of shit,
mm-hmm,
and that's
mm-hmm.
all he will be. But is this all I can't believe anyone is that hateful. Even Hitler wasn't.
Unfortunately,
Hitler had an
no.
agenda. G-Man has no agenda. He just hates everyone. He doesn't. He hates it. I think it's just a statement he's just trying to make. Because I think if he was to set foot on English soil, he would be stabbed up the second he got off the plane. People would stab him up. I know he wouldn't last two minutes in my village. It was quite religious, my village. With his
Mm,
views, he would not last 2 minutes with them silly American, deep Christian views. He would not last 2 minutes.
you know, before I became an atheist, I started to go to the Church of England. I was in the church, well, the Anglican Church for a good few years. They showed me a side to Christianity that I didn't think existed. These Christians were decent people. These were, just they were like angels, right? I even went to the Reverend Father to have a conversation with him because my upbringing, I grew up in this the same kind of like the same sort of beliefs as Gman. And so I had to go to the Reverend Father to ask him what he thought about hell. I needed to know that these people are so nice, but what are their thoughts about hell? What do they think? And so the Reverend Father, he said to me that he does not believe that God, a loving God, would create hell. And that was mind blowing to me, thinking, what? So there are Christians who do not believe in hell. They don't preach this thing in that church.
That is the Catholics' only redeeming feature. They don't believe in hell either.
Okay, so they don't. The Catholic Church don't believe in hell.
No, they believe in a thing called purgatory, where for the shit you've done through life, you will spend time in purgatory, but you will eventually reach heaven. And purgatory to them is limbo or that actual nothingness, but you will reach heaven in the end. That's how the Catholics view hell. Hell is purgatory to them. It's not a torture chamber based on a 13th century book by an ironic Italian poet called Dante, which is what they believe in now with the lake of fire and that. It was never mentioned ever in the Bible, ever.
So what happens in purgatory?
Purgatory is purgatory. You will spend time there, depending on how bad you were. Purgatory. I mean, who knows? They just say it's purgatory. It's not torture.
Do they believe in heaven? Do they believe in heaven?
Yeah, that's where you will end up. You will end up in heaven. But the Catholics, they call it purgatory, and that's probably the only redeeming feature about the Catholics is that they don't have that fear mechanism of hell. They have their own fear mechanisms of intimidation and humiliation and shit like that, which they inflict through the life of their followers and things like that. That's how the Catholics have dealt with it, but they don't believe in a torture lake of fire hell. They believe it's a place they call purgatory, and that is just it could be anything. It can be limbo, these souls that have nowhere to go and and you for wherever your sins were, you will spend set amount of time there, and then you will reach then you will reach heaven.
Hang on, dog. Hang on. So Soren puts in here that purgatory is to make up for venial sins, but Catholics definitely believe in hell for mortal sins. What the hell is? Okay, so what's the difference? Venial sins and mortal. What the hell? Let's get our doctrine straight.
What is a mortal sin? You need to say what is a mortal sin, because if you go around murdering and raping people all your life, and then you give yourself to Jesus at the end of your life, then you're forgiven.
Oh gosh!
So there is no mortal sin. Purgatory is what
mortal and venial sin. Hello, Oscar, and hello, James. Sorry to interrupt, dog.
Hey, how you doing, sister? How y'all doing,
I'm
panel?
good, James. Hello. Hello, good to see you here.
Yeah, so I wanted to address what the dude dog said, right? About G-Man coming up in there. Now my whole thing about him coming to England and he'll get stabbed up and everything like that. Now I'm not no defender of G-Man. G-Man, I did disagree heavily, right? And I guess you will call an atheist. But when it comes to like these things,
Can I
we got to
just
understand
when I said
G-Man.
stabbed up, that was a little bit extreme. I didn't really mean that. He wouldn't be, but he would be.
No,
He would
it
be
wouldn't
called
be
out on
stabbed
his
in the UK.
extremism
No.
as a believer. He would on his beliefs. If he came over here with them beliefs, he would be called out and stamped on.
Yes. Yes, because I
I'm
remember
not
there
saying
was
stabbed on. I didn't mean that at all. That he'd be murdered with knives. I mean, just meant he would just be stomped on. Basically, his beliefs would be taken.
he will be challenged.
Oh, my bad.
He will be
You meant
challenged.
challenged intellectually. That's what you meant.
Yes, he will be challenged. I mean,
Okay.
I didn't
even
mean
the
he would
church.
step off the plane and there'd be people there with knives to stab him up. But I didn't mean that. It's just it's just
No, it's just a figure of speech.
how we say things in the UK. He would be put to one side. Well, he would be, his beliefs would be highly frowned upon. Let's say.
That's interesting.
The church around here had they had the stickers on the wall, right, depicting hell. If you don't follow Jesus, you will burn in hell. The community said that is hate speech, and the church need to take it down. There was uproar. This made the news. I don't know if it was a nationwide thing, but the people said, how can a church be putting something like this on the wall for everyone in the community to see? You're threatening people. This is hate speech. The church had to take it down. They had to take those things about hell. They took it down. Hate speech. Hell is hate speech.
I agree it's hate speech. But it's like it don't affect you if you don't believe in it. You know what I mean? They used to I used to do a Christian church, well, not like a Christian Bible camp, right? In the summer, and I was a camp counselor. I used to attend when I was younger. When I was a camp counselor, we had this big poster in the mess hall, right? And it's that famous one. There's different versions of it, but it's a cross because the verse that was at the bottom was like, narrow is the way to salvation and wide is the path to destruction, all that stuff. And it's this huge picture, and it's just a cross and little bit of people going across it, and just a multitude of people falling over the edge into hell, where where it looks like Las Vegas and everything. They go into a fiery pit. That thing scared the living crap out of me when I was young.
Me too. Me too.
That's what they do to children. Like, they do this to indoctrinate them. You don't want to go here, right? Because you can't do that to an adult. Because an adult can do critical thinking. Well, some adults can do critical thinking, right? But a child, nah. I was terrified.
This is the indoctrination we're talking about, James. And I have to disagree with Soren, because I've studied Catholic hell and Catholic beliefs all my life, because I was abused, not sexually, but physically, mentally abused by the Catholic Church. And I've gone through this. And like Catholicism in hell is like a state of definitive self-exclusion from communion with God and the blessed. That's all it is. And it's to go into that hell is a refusal to repent of your mortal sins. But if you repent of your mortal sins, you get that sanctifying grace. That's what it's for. And Catholic hell is based, and we've gone through this. We've talked about this Sheol. We talked about Sheol, haven't we?
Yes, we have.
Which is the Jewish belief that Sheol means grave or or eternal nothingness. That is, or Gehenna. We talked about the mountain of Gehenna as well, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Yes.
Or the valley of Gehenna, I should say, or Gehenna, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah. Can I just quickly read
These
this?
are the Catholic beliefs of.
Doug, just one
They
second.
think
Let
this
me
is
just
where
quickly.
Jesus went, but the Catholic Church also has evidence that Jesus never existed.
What? What did you say, Doug?
The Romans back in the day,
Did you
even
just say
two,
the Catholic Church have evidence that
Jesus never existed? Yes. Apparently. Well, if he did exist, do you not think they would be throwing that proof out everywhere?
So they
A
got
church
proof
such as
that
big as Catholics, if you had proof that someone like Jesus existed, would you not be giving that out in leaflets even now? Jesus existed. Here's the proof. But there is no proof, and I've always see the Romans were massive record keepers, and there is no evidence that a guy called Jesus or Jesus or however you want to, whether he's Mexican or not, it doesn't matter. He didn't exist.
Oh, wow.
If he did
So,
exist, there would be evidence of it. And they would,
but there's the shroud of Turin.
yeah, that was carbon dated to only like, what was this, 700 years ago that was invented.
Oh, gosh.
It was like 700 years ago. And why is it
a
just
piece of cloth?
It was the face of Jesus, which had it was a bearded person with oils on it that was dated back to like the 13th century. And I get that these people will make these, but you've got like things like the Ark of the Covenant and Noah's Ark and all of this religious facts that have never, ever, ever been shown or proven. Now, apparently, the Ark of the Covenant is in a place in Jerusalem that no one has ever seen inside.
Doug,
according to legend, but it's all it is. It's legend. It's fucking Harry Potter.
Doug, can I interrupt?
All legend.
Doug, can I interrupt 1 second? There was a comment here. Just now, James came up to talk about that's what you said about the stabbing if G-Man was here in the UK. And turns out that where's that comment? Let's see. Where is it now? Steve McGray manager. Let's see, where is it now? Gosh, I've lost it. Hang on. Yeah, here we go. So G-Man's tried to stab him. Also, his sister has tried to stab him.
G-Man goes through the
twice.
same shit as everyone else, but obviously he goes through more. If his own sister wants to cut him up, but I didn't mean stab him like he would step off the plane and people would be there with knives to stab him. I just meant, it's UK euphemism that he would be destroyed if he came here.
Yes.
We stopped them American religions. We've stopped the Mormons and we stopped the Jehovah's Witnesses. We don't stop them. They still have their churches here, and they still have their halls and what's the name, but they don't knock on the doors no more because they know they're wasting their time in the UK because we don't fall for that shit anymore.
But to be fair, the reason why the Americans got this religion is because of the British and the Europeans. The Native Americans wasn't following this. Our ancestors in Africa wasn't following this.
I totally agree, James.
Yeah, G-Man is and us who are product.
We're not all innocent in this, but when you've got 40,000 religions in one country, i.e. North America, that's all about the money. and that
Mhm.
throw that all out. When you got your Mormonism, you Mormon, you Paul Smith, what is it, whatever Smith,
Yeah, Joseph
and
Smith.
Joseph
Uh,
Smith.
Joe Smith, that was it. Joe Smith, he was already a convicted felon that he got chased down because he used to divine for gold on. He was obsessed with gold. We know this,
mhm.
and he used to divine for gold on. Yeah, dig there, pay me, and he'd disappear forever. And they caught up with him in the end, but he managed to get away with it. And it was only a couple of years ago. I mean, fair enough. I'm going to say we were burning women here,
Well,
UK.
to be real, he didn't get away with it because they threw his ass in jail, and then when they found out that he was taking all their women, they shot him along with his brother.
Exactly, yeah.
So he got shot. So yeah, he didn't get away with it.
Yeah, but James, that church is still going for whatever
Yes, it
reason.
is.
Still going.
Mm.
And it's
Yeah,
still
it
going very, very strong. And it's still and they call them missionaries, don't they? These young boys
Yes.
that they have. They never women. It's always the young boys.
They're in Africa spreading the word. They're all over spreading the word.
Yeah.
So
Mormonism should have died when that Mormon preacher got ate by that alligator, that crocodile, because he said that God was going to protect him, and that crocodile ate him. That should have been the last day of Mormonism in Africa.
Oh God.
And what was
And
that?
I seen what crocodiles do.
Was that a Mormon that landed on that island and they speared him to death?
Oh, good on them. They saved themselves from all the diseases that was going to come next.
No, you can look at it that way. Yeah, there was the thing is about world travel is it brings a lot of disease.
Mm-hmm.
I see number one there. I need to email that man anyway.
Oh yeah, let's hear Oscar. Oscar, you want to add
Don't blame me.
to the conversation?
Right. Number one, I need to email you, mate.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, it's so good. Just remember, I'm a lorry driver. I'm busy as fuck.
No, weekend. Well,
It's the weekend.
You're cool
It's the weekend, Oscar.
Sorry?
You're not driving the trucks this weekend, are
No, of course not. No, I finished about 3 hours ago.
You
so,
are.
yeah.
That's a great cab you're in.
Say what?
It's a great cab you're in.
Of course.
With bookshelves and whatnot and the mic.
Well, that's my wife's office, but yeah. I'm nicking it, temporary nicking. Hey, listen, let me give you I'm half Spanish. My mother is British, my father's Spanish, right? So I was raised and I studied in a Spanish school, Spanish Catholic school, right? I got baptized and the whole fucking shebang, right? Now, I can tell you something about purgatory, right? And the Spanish version, shall we say, right? I don't know about worldwide as a whole, but in Spain, when a member of the family of a Catholic dies, they take him to before they bury him or whatever, right? The family pray to God, right? So the idea is that the deceased goes to purgatory, right? So the people, the family members pray to God as an intermediary liaison to say, God, please, my ex whatever person who died, father, mother, whatever, he or she was an asshole, please, but let he or she go to heaven, right? That's basically the intermediate place, right? So it depends how much you go, right? With the big daddy, may or may not go. So the family will never know, obviously, right? But the family effort to be reunited. Like, for example, in America, you guys make parties, right? When somebody dies, right? Right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, in Africa, it's huge. In some places, it's a huge party.
Imagine,
That'd not be a great thing if you had a date to a death date. Would that not be great that you would
Okay,
build up and have
guys,
the party of your
guys,
life and say, I'm dying tomorrow?
guys,
I'd like
can
to
I
say
just
to
quickly
In Hello, this shit was not invented in the UK. This shit was invented in the Middle East.
Oh my, okay. You know
and
what, guys?
around there.
I don't know if please anyone can help me here. I've heard Gman say that atheism invention by it's the Jesuits. The Jesuits. I don't know who these Jesuit
Jesuits are
people. I think
also a religious group.
right.
The
So
Jesuits.
according to G-Man, atheism was started off by these Jesuit people, and indirectly atheists are working for the Catholic Church. I don't know, are the Jesuits, are they Catholic, these Jesuit people?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, G-Man's an idiot.
They're Christians. It's all Christianity, regardless.
No. G-Man does not consider.
G-Man's a fucking idiot. You know?
Yes, he is.
Not consider the Catholic Church as they're not Christians, as far as he's concerned. And he's not the only one who shares that belief.
G-Man watches your channel, Esther.
Huh?
G-Man watches your channel.
He does.
I know, we know this. So I'm going to say now, G-Man, you are as thick as pig shit. Yes. And the pig in question has been on a diet of gravy granules and fucking cement. That's how thick you are. That's how fucking dense your brain is, you fucking moron.
Very dense.
You hateful prick. You're nothing, you're just hateful. And you've seen your fucking streams. You go through the same shit as everyone else does. Yet you try and fucking blame it on everyone else. But you need to look at your fucking self in the mirror, you fucking idiot.
You know, myself.
We all have our flaws. We're all full of shit at the end of the day. You are one of that just fucking blames anyone else but yourself. You're a fucking wanker. That's all you are,
You know, for myself, I am
on it, prick.
For myself, I'm an optimist, right? I try really to see the good in people, to just never really give up on people. Sometimes I feel like when I see him, it just makes me sad to see a man after so many years of preaching all this hatred, and to see his life just, he's got nothing to show for it except his those t-shirts that slack off his neck. You can tell that he's either gone to the thrift store, or it's something that someone's handed down to him. You see him and I think to myself, come on, they should, if only he would stop being so hateful. I'm sure people will help him. I'm sure people would take him seriously. I don't know who listens to him when he's preaching. Who's listening to this guy?
To be honest, I didn't know that G-Man was this bad, because I only know G-Man through Shani of Christ.
Oh God. So
in comparison, at least for me, she seems like she's a worse person.
Yeah.
So like,
James,
when y'all say like G-Man is like all this, I find G-Man is entertainment.
Right.
He battles Hebrew Israelite, but I know the Hebrews, they're worse than G-Man. Like, but they're a little more put together and they got their money right. Him, he don't do the right thing. He just floating. They said that he might got, autism. People say that he was abused as a child. I don't know. G-Man just got a lot of problems. For me, he just entertained. I don't take him seriously.
No.
And I understand because in the United States, I didn't want to say United States. When it comes to like Protestants, specifically those that are Christian, Baptist, Methodist, all that other stuff, we usually don't see Catholics as Christian because we usually say, "Are you Christian or are you Catholic?" We already separate
Wow.
because we don't necessarily view Catholics as Christians, which is true because that's how I grew up. My mom grew up in the Catholic Church, but she said she was never Catholic. Her grandmother was, but like they just say Catholic just worship idols. They sit there and they kiss the feet of these wooden statues and the images of Jesus or Mary or any other saint, and they say that that's just sacrilegious to the Bible, which is technically true. But Catholicism is mixed with so much different European paganisms because they had to convince these Germanic and these Celtic people to be Christian.
I grew up with Catholic. I went to a Catholic school, and I fell hook, line, and sinker. I was going for it. You know, I wanted to be involved in the church. My father was a Eucharist minister in the church. He said he wasn't a priest.
Krishna became Hindu.
Well, obviously, because you exist.
And me, I was bought by it, and I got into it. And then I asked one question, just out of convenience. I asked one question in my Catholic school to my non-teacher, and it escalated downhill from there. And at the end of my tenure in that school, I got expelled a year before I was to finish in my junior school. I quite enjoyed asking these questions. I was questioning dogma. They didn't like that. They didn't like the let's say just being instinctually curious about life. That's all it was. You didn't believe in God. You don't ask these questions. You have to abide by these rules and laws. And I didn't. I did it. Even though I was getting regular beaten up, it became just. I just got used to it.
That's rather sad.
I'm fortunate that because these were the days when they were fucking killing people and institutionalizing people for being bad. Fortunately, it didn't happen to me. I managed to get out unscathed and went to a secular school. On my first day in the secular school, we went into assembly and we said the Lord's Prayer. For fuck, here we go again. Well, that was it. You didn't have to do it before every lesson and after every lesson, and you didn't have religious studies. You didn't have to take religious studies or RE, we call it, religious education. We didn't have to do that. We can opt out of that if we wanted to, which I did, obviously. I didn't at first because it was only like in the senior or high school, as the Americans call it, senior school, I decided, that religion's part is not for me because I'm only going to get in trouble.
Something that I'm happy about, that's something that gives me joy, and that is that Gman is not a pastor. He's not a preacher. He has not got a congregation, right? Gman is not the worst, to be fair to him. He's not the worst out there. There are worse. Dog, there are worse people than Gman who are leaders of churches. They have members worshiping them. They have members paying money, members doing their bidding, right? My channel, I show most of these African pastors. You see what these people are like. So in Gman's case, I'm glad that it is contained only on YouTube. So I think that's one thing I can, I can go to sleep at night knowing he has not got a congregation.
But
he
Esther,
can run his mouth however he wants.
You've got 1,300 followers, right?
Yes.
How many people, or how big does the church have to be to fit that many people in? And G-Man's got Well, unfortunately, he's got a lot more than you at the moment.
Yes.
He doesn't need to. He's got his soapbox as YouTube, and he has his followers that listen to his bollocks, listen to his nonsense, and listen to his hatred, and they buy it. They buy into it, and that's
They
just
do. The people who buy into his rhetoric are there.
Absolutely, of course there is. He wouldn't have that platform otherwise, and it's just sad to see that people are so. Ask me, am I Team Depp or Team Heard?
What team are you on, Depp or Heard?
I couldn't give a fuck.
Me too. I tell
You know,
I'm just not one. I'm not keen on celebrities
goes.
And what they get on with their lives. Listen,
Exactly.
these people have money.
Two fucking multimillionaires.
Yep. They're rich people.
No one cares.
Rich people, and they both toxic narcissists. So yeah.
The domestic abuse happens. I feel more about for the little people that these people are. So I don't really care the outcome of what they're going through.
Exactly.
I really couldn't give a shit because it will happen regardless of their worldwide fucking showcase that they're doing. This is Gman, and he knows he has this platform, and he will play on it, and he'll fucking throw his hatred out, and he really will, and he does, and he constantly does, which just makes him.
After how many years of preaching this hatred, don't you think? I think an average person would have sat down to really ask themselves, okay, this is clearly not working for me. This is not taking me anywhere, right? But in his mind, he thinks he's being persecuted. I heard him say he's being persecuted on YouTube. I'm like, who's persecuting you? It's not. Nobody's put a gun to your head to be on this platform. If anyone's persecuting you, you can just get yourself off.
Well, Shani might.
They're just calling out his bollocks, but there's been popes and preachers and for centuries that have just preached nothing but hatred.
I mean, Shani might. She might got a gun to his head because she his landlord.
James, to you, what is the word of God?
What's the word of God?
To you, yeah. What do you see the word of God as? Because you're obviously an atheist.
It don't mean nothing to me. It did at one point, but they tell me the word of God is the Bible, but then a Muslim would tell me the word of God is the Quran.
And then the Jews will tell you it's the Torah. That's what they call it, Torah.
Torah.
But you know what? I know what traditional African schools, some traditional
million gods in Hinduism. 33 million gods.
Yikes.
If I was going to be a theist, I will go back to what
actually 330 million gods. I'll have to Google that. Let me Google that quickly.
Yeah, but if I was a theist, I would have to go back to traditional African spirituality or whatever that is. I might just go to the Yoruba system. Okay. But there's a lot of superstition up in there. So I can't really gel with that. But I understand that a lot of when it comes to traditional spirituality, we believe that we just carry on and sometimes that we get reincarnated as our descendants. So that and we definitely got ancestors because that's how we here. I ain't trying to answer who started everything. I know that I got two parents and they had two parents and so on and so forth. And I'm descendant of those people, even though I have never met those people. Exactly. So that's the only thing I got. How did I get here? My mom and my dad.
Yeah, they had some coitus.
Right.
They got busy.
Exactly. That's all that I hate it when people say like, "Oh, you don't believe in God? Then how did you get here?" You don't know how many times I hear that, and I literally just say, "My mom and dad had sex."
Who is the? Don't you want to know who the creator is?
Yes, my mom and dad. I got issues with both of them. I got 23 chromosomes here, 23 chromosomes from the other one. That's how I was created. Simple as that.
Exactly. You know, someone said to me, "How can you be an atheist? Don't you think you should go back to the religion of your ancestors, right? The African traditional spirituality. That
Mm-hmm.
why would you choose atheism?" So I then said, "Look, are you telling me that every one of my ancestors all believe the same thing at that
Mm-hmm.
everyone chose the same religion when
Mm-hmm.
these people were alive?" The answer is no. And I said, "Are
Yep.
you telling me there were no atheists during that time?" There would
Yep.
have been atheists. Our ancestors, there would have been atheists among them. They would have seen people worshiping a stone and think, "Nah, that's not for
Yep.
me," right?
That's why I be
So
telling people.
so when you tell me, why don't you go back to the religion of your ancestors, I've got to ask, which religion? And I am sure there would have been atheists among them. So
Mm-hmm.
I would rather go back to the religion. Well, atheism is not a religion, but I choose the atheism. The ones who were agnostics among my ancestors, because no how there would have been
Yeah,
agnostics and
but
atheists. So what are we
Esther,
talking
Right.
about?
you have to look at it another way. That in certain parts of the world, especially like where you're from in Africa, Nigeria, and things like that,
Yeah.
is that theism is so dominant. Is that people are scared to come out as atheists because in
Yes.
fear of death.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's like self-preservation and things like
Yes.
that, and this is how the world is, and especially like I'm just saying Africa as a thing, but if you go into like Muslim states and things like that, if
Mm,
you don't believe in Allah,
That sad situation that just
you're
happened.
dead. You
yes.
are beheaded in public as
That
a
young lady
atheist or
that
a
was
blasphemy.
killed. Mm.
Mhm.
Well,
And
believe
she
it or
believed in
not,
God. She was a
Yeah,
Christian,
she was a
and they
Christian.
did that to
Yes.
her. Which
well, you
they are
believe
people
it
in
or
the
not,
book, and Islam said you can't even touch them like that.
No.
So
believe it or
that's
not, there's beheadings that go on in Islamic states daily.
Yes. Mm.
yeah.
For just someone who's and killings and a lot of them are public. I mean, if you stole a fucking loaf of bread, you'd have your hands chopped off. This is how extreme they are in them
Hang on.
countries.
Let me show you.
But they wouldn't only do that; they would wipe out your whole family. They go into schools and they they behead your children in the school. They behead your wife, your sisters, your uncles, this is what they do. This is how extreme they are, and it's a terrible, terrible existence that we belong in through religion. But it's never, ever, ever mentioned. None of this is ever mentioned. But this is fact is what goes on, and people can Google it and they can read it. Anyone who's watching this now, just Google beheadings in Islamic states, and it will give you stories of these beheadings, which are not pretty. They're done with a tiny little knife. It's not like the old English way, like chop and block, massive big axe done. These are your head is basically sawn off, so you're tortured as you're getting your head cut off, and this has happened to your whole family, children, etc., etc., etc. Religion is shit, and it fucking needs to stop. We talk about Nigeria, yeah. I
So
mean,
this
three of
is
the
this
most
is
wanted men on the planet. Three of the most wanted men on the planet are
look at
Nigerian.
this. Look at this here. This gentleman had his hand chopped off by Sharia, the Sharia courts in Nigeria. See, what was his
Was it Boko
offense, by the
Haram?
way? I
It was Boko Haram
I
who did that.
am no Sharia, the Sharia courts. Yeah, so an Islamic court
Well, I ain't never heard of them.
sentenced
Oh, in Sharia,
to
yeah.
12 states in Nigeria have had the Sharia law since 1999. We've had Sharia for a long time. So these two people stole a bull, a cow. Some places say it's a cow, and 23 and 22 should be amputated in public. So the hands were amputated, and the sad part is the statement. The bull. Can you imagine, guys? See how much the bull cost. The bull cost. The market value was about $867, £544. That's how much it costs, and now the hand is gone.
You're also talking about you're talking about a hand being amputated from the wrist in public. There's no doctors. Yeah. There's no medical assistance. There's nothing. How many people die from these sort of injuries? And it happens.
Well, guys, did you guys see the hang on, let me see if I can find the a Christian person
in England. He was a guy. He had two.
I'll find it. You guys just carry on talking. I'll find this thing I'm looking for.
Yeah, these Sharia law is so barbaric and outdated. Why the world hasn't, they're worrying about Putin and things like that. And this Sharia law has been going on for hundreds of years. Why people haven't stomped on that?
You know what's crazy?
To coin a phrase of what I mentioned earlier. Why people haven't stabbed that up and got rid of that?
Because traditionally, in West Africa, they didn't even do Sharia law. Because what they would do, they would just mix with the Islam with the traditional practices. But then some dude,
hi Maya,
he might have been an Arab, or he might have been he was like a Fulani. They have their little jihads and they force like a more orthodox version of Islam. This is what you're seeing today. That's what's going on. It's just like with the Muslims, like when they were doing like science and research and everything like that back in the 800s, during what they call the golden age of Islam. You even had atheists or like agnostic, like people who were in the Muslim world.
Separating it from Christianity. Don't forget, Islam came long after Christianity. Christians were doing this long before the Islams. They were doing exactly the same thing, stoning people to death and shooting,
setting people on fire,
beheading people. Just because they don't do it now does not mean that they don't still not believe in that sort of justice.
Oh, they believe it in America. Don't worry. Christian dominionism. That's a very scary thing.
Well, yeah, it's happening. It's happening in America now. You still get these lynch mobs and the Ku Klux Klan. They're all religious driven to kill black people, which it's just beggars belief. The ignorance and the stupidity of human beings.
They want to kill women for getting an abortion over here. They want to kill women to get an abortion over here because they want to say that it's murder. So they want to put out the death penalty. It's nuts over here.
Yeah.
Can I just read just 1 second? Can I just read what's on the screen? So this was a Christian person's comment to me, right? This is a Christian. It says, this woman, with what is happening in Sokoto, that the girl who was killed, right, by the Islamic people, says, with what is happening in Sokoto, you won't keep mute, right? Why can't you focus on yourself and what you believe in? I remember I told you once, you choose to, I think they wanted to say, you choose to talk about Christianity in your criticisms because you know you can try that. You know you can't try that with it. Keep mocking people who are ahead of you. because you know Christianity preaches love, so you take advantage and mock Christians. Well, my advice for you is if you like your life, don't try this nonsense and criticize Islam. You know where you would be by now. I think some Christians secretly
Esther,
wish they had the blasphemy laws too.
Esther,
Yeah,
he's got slow in his name.
yeah, that's his name, K-Slow.
What is slow in the UK?
He is slow.
He's slow.
Oh
Which
no.
means he's a fucking idiot. He's simple. He's obviously religious, and it's sad that this sort of. And to be fair, he does have a point, because this stuff goes on all the time, and it goes on daily. There's people dying through religion daily. Hundreds of people via religion every single day, and no one bats an eyelid, because no, but it's the way it is. Africa, the Islamic State, even here in the UK, America, there's people dying via religion.
Yeah.
And they're still killing, and they will still get away with killing. You get these masks. Oh, the devil told me to do it. The devil is a religious concept, obviously. Oh God, and they plead insanity, and when they fail that, they still kill people in America in certain states. I know that's just as bad as the religious. I think it's the death penalty. It's just it's beyond me. I think they should live long lives where they're just fucking raped and beaten in prison till their death. But,
here's Ishak Ibrahim, African greetings from Kaduna, Nigeria. He's in the heart of Sharia. He's right in. Please be careful, Ishak.
Good luck, Ishak Ibrahim. Good
say
luck, man.
Anything about the things that these people care too much about their prophet, and their feelings about their religion. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
And the child wives. Don't forget about that.
Oh yes, yeah, child brides. If
Wives.
they're prophets,
Christian,
have
I like
his own.
Christian, but I think he wants to be bitten, doesn't he? Atheism is a religious belief. If you do not agree, kiss me or bite me. I'll bite you, mate. I won't kiss
me
you.
or
I'll
bite
bite
me.
you.
Atheism is a religious belief. I don't no. That's wrong. Atheism is not the day atheism starts to be a religious belief, count me out. I'm not going to.
It's noble.
The day atheism becomes a religious belief, that's the day I sign out from atheism.
Well, that's the theist, that's the apologetics go-to argument, and that's what they say, because that's all they can say now is that atheism is a religion, it's a belief, and it's not a belief.
I think it goes beyond that. I think the guy is thick, yeah, and I'm justifying this because he's a copy paste of other preachers saying that, what's his name, that idiot, Ken Hovind, right? He normally says that, right? So I think this guy is a copycat of Ken Hovind.
No, Krishna is for real.
Krishna is for real. He's all right, Krishna.
Krishna is for real. He is for real.
I think
he's. I think Krishna is Hindu, if I'm not mistaken.
He's being sarcastic.
Yeah. But then I think Krishna is a theist. He is Hindu, or
he's
Krishna,
Hindu.
please help us. Tell us what.
I remember being on a stream with him, and I think it was one of your streams, to be fair, Esther.
Right. Yeah.
And I think he is Hindu. I think he is a Hindu, which is probably the stupidest stupidest religion of them all because it means nothing. Hinduism. It's a bit like
I've got no clue
Sikhism
about Hinduism.
or
No
Buddhism
clue.
these days, which is which is sort of paganism, which is sort of meaningless these days because it's obviously Islam and Christianity now that rule the world. These religions are sort of being pushed aside, which I know they still exist, but they are being pushed aside, sadly. And I wish, because Hinduism is quite a peaceful religion, very peaceful. So is paganism.
Hinduism at all. No clue. Well, never mind. We'll
They're quite peaceful religions, whereas anything else, any of the Abrahamic religions are obviously the hateful religions, and they always have been, and always will be.
Do the Hindus have one god or many gods?
The Hindus have 330 million gods, but 10
Oh, they're the ones
stand
with
out.
all the many gods.
You
So
got
you just choose.
You have Vishnu, obviously, Ganesha, Jacana, Persia, Lambadara, Shiva,
wow.
Durga, Sarawati. I think there's about 10 of them that are the main
ones.
Very polytheistic, but there's 330 million other gods. I mean, 330 million. There's got to be a god for everything, isn't it? A god of poop, maybe. You must have one. A god of going to the toilet. A god of making tea.
The last comment
God
is
of cooking a bacon sandwich.
The last comment is very valid.
But 330 million gods is, well, that's far too many, isn't it, really?
No religion are peaceful when they have power or control. That's fucking true.
You guys still talking or?
No, I'm just reading. Atheists don't believe, have no beliefs or ideologies. This is where that statement is failing. I don't have no beliefs or ideology. I used to, but I have no beliefs at all. I'm not anti-belief, but I'm definitely not pro-belief. I'm an atheist, or true, a proper atheist is in the middle of them two things. I don't know that God exists. But
that's an agnostic system.
It's never been shown. It's never been proven that a God exists. The evidence points more to a God not existing than a God does
and
exist.
if it does exist, which one is it?
Well, absolutely. I mean, there was gods going long before, but obviously the Catholics started the holy wars and they killed many millions of people back in the day, and they're still killing people now all around the world. We know this, and obviously out of fear, people believe in the one God. And that's what's happened over the centuries. And that's where Christianity comes into it. But when you get into the likes of America, then you see the cash coming into it. And it's all about money. And these mega churches that just make tens of thousands of dollars every Sunday. In these circus tents, they just erect a tent in a farmer's field. And these people come and they'll speak in tongues and they'll have their faith healers and crap like that. And as you've shown time and time again, Esther, that faith healing is it's like a school in bad acting, basically. And we know this, and we've seen it, and these people who talk in tongues. You say, "Oh, I don't know what I said." No one fucking knows what you said. You just went. Blah, 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 blah. That's all you said. No one knows what you said.
No.
If you can't explain what you said, then you just spoke nonsense. You just moved your tongue in your mouth and just made sounds.
It's
These
crazy.
people can
The
never
things.
explain what they've said, and no one can understand what they've said. So what's the point? What is the point?
They tell you that you may not understand it, but God understands it. It is a communication with God, and even the devil does not understand it. Now, there's a scripture, I think it was Daniel in the Bible who prayed and stopped his prayer from reaching to God. Days his prayer was held up somewhere. I don't know where these prayers, so we used to that when you pray, your prayers could be intercepted by the devils and the demons, but prayers in tongues, those can never be intercepted because the devils and the demons do not understand the tongues, so they go directly to God, and it's like a direct communication. This is what we were taught.
Well, that silly woman prayed in tongues for Donald Trump. Look what happened there.
God.
And I have to agree with fucking out there that no religions are peaceful when they have power. And that is true, because they got their fingers in a lot, and they have to have their fingers in a lot because they know they're dying out. So they have to have their fingers in politics and businesses and whatever they can get their hands in, any till, because it's all about the money these days. That's all it is. It's all about money. And I think a lot of people are just trying to you get these televangelists, they're all billionaires, all of them. Why should you have to pay for a prayer? Why should you? This is what makes these religions a cult. Is why should you have to go to a building and congregate and do these rituals to appease a fucking idiot, someone who you believe exists? Why do you have to do these things?
Exactly.
That's
Good
the very
question.
definition of a cult.
Good question.
But they do it, and they give their 10% of their life's earnings. Imagine these people that have believed in God and worked all their lives and believed in God all their lives and given all this money to a church, and watch their preacher fly around on a fucking jumbo jet he owns, and they have nothing apart from this promise that they make. Because even the Catholic Church, and this is fact, you can buy yourself out of purgatory.
Oh gosh, really? How much? How much you got to pay to buy yourself out of purgatory?
Wherever.
$1?
You can buy yourself out of purgatory. You can, if you pay enough money, you can repent for your sins with cash.
Okay. Interesting. But never mind. I don't believe in those things anymore. It's just these people. 1 minute, I think it's a Catholic Church. They've changed. They've. Do they still believe in purgatory till this day?
Yeah, they believe in the whole Jewish in purgatory in the old Jewish ways. As I said, the Valley of Gehenna and Sheol. They believe it. That's the Catholic hell.
Okay.
And Sheol, we know, means either grave or eternal nothingness, and the Valley of Gehenna was where the Jewish sacrificed their own children for God.
Yeah, you showed that to me. I saw it and I was shocked. Listen, I think
this is what people did.
I
And
know.
don't forget, even the Christians back in the day, it's even written in the Bible: if you disrespect your parents, you will
You
be
were to be
stoned to
killed.
death. You will be stoned, or you will be thrown to the lions or on the wolves of
Can
the
you
wood
imagine?
forest.
Can you? A lot of us would never have survived. Back in the days, we would never have survived under these religions. And to think, Doug, that
Beccanello's
some
got it
people
right. It's called buying indulgences. You can buy yourself out of purgatory by
to
giving
think
money
that
to
some people still live by these laws. They still live by the these they call the Abrahamic laws. I think they
It
call.
just goes to show that it's all about the money, and it always will be about the money. You look at these preachers. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say there's 40 odd thousand, and there's preachers that do believe, and they are fuck all, but they give their lives to whatever, and to do this and to do this for the people, and they help and they help and they help, and they make a pittance, they make a few quid themselves, but at the end of the day, your big money makers will not interpret the Bible in their own way, like these 40s. They will manipulate it to take the money out of you.
Isha.
They will manipulate it and just take that cash from you.
Isha. Ishak says I believe I'm communicating with a beautiful woman called the Afro-Humans. Can anyone challenge your belief? uh yeah, go.
I'll
Oh,
challenge that.
I have many beliefs, right?
I would challenge that and say you're communicating with the ultimate beautiful one,
Ultimate,
not just a beautiful one.
the ultimate what?
The definitive beautiful woman you are.
Oh, okay. All right,
So,
right. Oh, okay.
and the
Interesting.
beautiful mind as well.
Mm-mm, mm-mm. So, okay, this is a question for us before we leave this space, right? So, you both identify as atheists. How are you? How are you? Someone asked me this question. How are you moral without God? Where do you get your morals from as
That's
an
a good
atheist?
question.
Because you have to ground your morality. In fact, they even went as far as to say that we have to borrow from the Christian worldview, because most of
No,
the countries have borrowed things from the Christian books, from the Christian the commandments, the God idea. So this is just I want to know, how are you moral without God? Where are you getting morals from? How come you haven't killed it? Look, the one who ought to be moral, who is Jesus, threatened to kill. He has threatened to dox. He has threatened to kick a woman so hard that she will never carry a baby. He has threatened all these things. But I can bet money. I can bet all the money in my savings that never
can
done no such thing.
can I
So
just
getting
say
your
that?
morals from?
Yeah, can I just say that I still struggle with my atheism,
Right.
and I will to the day I die. That's what the church did to me.
Mm.
I do. I struggle with it, but obviously my morals are extremely objective. I think if you're a Christian and when they ask you that question, you say, "Well, your morals are obviously subjective because you got your morals from a fucking book." That makes your morals subjective at the end of the day. But before them 10 Commandments came out, Cain killed his brother Abel and tried to hide the body.
Mm.
in their book. You try to hide that body, which I believe, well, it makes morality inherent. As far as I'm concerned, morality is inherent in you. I'm not saying we're not monogamous people. We're not like your swans and your things like that. Human beings fuck up. Religion makes us monogamous. I believe. Makes us, you have a partner for life. I don't think we are. I think we're like dogs.
I heard some people talking about life partners. I'm thinking, so wait,
Yeah.
I know when I was a Christian, they did preach that you were only assigned one person for your lifetime, right? So
Yeah.
if you miss that one person, your life would be in a mess, total shambles. So you have to pray to God to find that one person that God has designed and dedicated for you specifically. Now, there were circumstances where you can get rid of that one person, and that is if there was any adultery. I think adultery, if they died, if the person dies, then you're free from that. You can then go on to find yourself another mate. But then some people, even though they're not religious, they still have this belief that you have a life partner. I don't know if I asked the person. Someone was, I asked the person.
think
So
that's a
what if?
religious thing.
Yeah, I asked this person. They said they're spiritual. I asked the person that what if your life partner was abusing you? What if your life partner was? What if you're in this life partner relationship? It's hell on earth, right? You're in a place where every day it's like the worst possible scenario. What do you do then? Do you stay because it's your life partner or what? I don't get this life partner concept.
Yeah, I think I believe human beings are not monogamous at all. I think I think we're free roaming people.
Talking from a monogamous man, dog himself.
I
Dog.
am, yeah. I love my wife.
Oh, you're
I'm happy with her. But I do believe I went through my youth and whatnot, and you move on. You have girlfriends and whatnot, and I think marriage is a religious thing, which is sadly becoming law. When you look at the world statistics of marriage, when over 70% of them end in divorce anyway. Isn't that a sort of indicator of how humans behave and how we work? We're not these certain like animals like swans and these sort of beings that will stick with their. Don't get me wrong. I've had plenty of girlfriends through my life, and I love them all. I've never fell out with one of them.
Wow.
I don't talk with a lot of them, but we've moved on. We've grown on, and you grow up. I have to say there is a couple of girls that probably wish I was dead, but it's just the way life is. That's how life goes. Well, I don't think if you find the right person, then yeah, that's fair enough. It's not God given or don't get me wrong. Me and my missus are like Captain fucking. We're just rich chalk and cheese half the time. We do row a lot. But,
morality is natural.
I do love her, and we get over it. And obviously, we're not Amber Heard or Johnny Depp.
Oh no.
But yeah, I don't think a human being. I think we're forced into that marriage thing via religion, via one woman, one man type of thing. which I don't think we are. I think that's just another forced upon us thing. And
Yeah.
sadly, it is now law that the man gets fucked over if he needs to move on, because women are getting so strong and bigoted these days. Is that they do become abusers to some people, to some men.
Yeah, it's possible. Anyone can be an abuser. Anyone
Yeah.
can be.
Some guys
Has Oscar answered the question? Oscar?
No, because you touched many subjects or it went into
Sorry,
different
I am so sorry.
tangents.
I'm so sorry. Yes, Oscar, do you want to answer the question?
There, Esther.
Right?
On morality.
What did you say?
I'm giving you about 10 shows worth there on morality and how to behave. Go on, Oscar.
Okay.
Go on, mate. You are number one after all.
Stop
look
it.
Out
Make
for
it
number
so.
one.
Make it so. Make it so, number one. Make it so.
Make way for number one.
Right. Okay. Morality is only a religious name. Okay. Morality, as I define it, is a interaction behavior between sentient being. Right. And when I say beings, so because then I'm including the animal kingdom. Okay. So basically, you cannot have morality if you are one person in an island. Just to give you an example, right? You need two people in an island, and I'm talking about a minimal concept, right? It's two individuals, then you have the beginning of morality. Well, the beginning of behavior. That's basically what it is, right? And you behave interacting with another person. Okay, so if you take if you unfortunately you have to say the long word because the shorter word is religious inclined, right? Because at the end of the day, you are interacting with somebody else, right? You are behave, and the moral side of it is the behavior. How it is a good behavior or bad behavior, good morals or bad morals. Okay, so
you are right, Oscar. A human being is the only species on this planet that will kill its own out of spite and hatred.
Yeah. Funny enough, the animal kingdom in rare exception behave correctly.
Yeah,
right?
a wolf will kill another wolf out of protection of its pack or its or its family. Human beings will kill out of spite and hatred, and we're the only species on this planet that does that. There's no other species that does it apart from us. We're human beings are the fucking worst people on this planet. We've killed it. Thankfully, I'm at an age where it won't really affect me because I'll be long gone and that's it. And my body's going to the chop shop in the hospital to the medical students who basically haven't got much.
Have you signed up?
Yeah,
I'm thinking about it actually. I'm thinking about it.
Why not? I'm destined to become sushi.
Oh, you're destined to become some medical students teaching
sushi. Let them chop me up and do whatever. I won't know. I won't care.
I'm actually thinking about it, but then you must understand. Then the religious members of the family, what would they think?
You have your show. Your being will be forever immortalized in YouTube.
Right.
You know, people have a bet. You know, in the old days, people had a bench named after them, or whatever, or they had a tombstone, a gravestone with a name immortalized on it. But in this day and age, it doesn't really matter, does it? Because if you've done something on social network like you do with your 1.3 plus K listeners, and I've been on your show, so I know people have listened to me as well. So I'm already immortalized, so I'm happy about that. So yeah, let me go to the chop shop. Let people learn from me, because trust me, my body, especially what I've been with through the last 3 years, I am fucked up. Let them learn from me. Why not? Well, it means your body is just a vessel, isn't it? Really. Now that's just the wrong thing to say. A vessel. A vessel for what?
A
No,
temple.
your body.
Your body is the temple of God. No, okay, no God.
Yeah. Well,
The
no.
temple of
Even that's
temple.
wrong. Even that's wrong. He's saying it's a vessel. It's just a thing that you experience. Your body is an experience, let's say, and when it's gone, it's gone. It's the end of experience, and just to have been part of it, because don't forget the average human ejaculation is 80 billion sperm per ejaculate. 80 billion.
80 billion sperm. Gee.
To win that great egg race, Esther,
Yikes.
is
Okay,
probably
I have one last question for both of you. Very serious question, because being an ex-Christian and being on this whole journey of deconversion, and I'm right now. I'm about 3 years out, and oh, life is good. But then I sometimes still struggle with the idea of death and the and dying and all that stuff. Now, I've been more open to the idea since my mom died 2 years ago. But when I was a Christian, we in church we used to pray prayers like the pastor would say, pray that you will not die, but you would live to declare the glory of God and
yeah,
to declare his works. So the pastor would tell people to pray that they're not going to die. But that's not true. People will die. But that fear of dying and going to hell, sure where you're going to go, right? I don't fear hell anymore. But I think I still have just the fear of dying. There's one kind of death that I particularly do not want. And that is, some people go to sleep at night and don't wake up, right? They might go to sleep, they're healthy, they're well, and they just someone goes to wake them up, and I haven't heard from he hasn't moved all morning. They go there. I don't know if I would want, I don't know. I think I would want to know when it's going to come. I wouldn't want to just go, just like, I don't know. I think about my children. Would they be okay? All those kind of things. So, do you guys fear death? And if
yeah.
yes, why?
You're in
If
the
not,
same position as me, Esther, where you're still struggling with your atheism, and I know
right.
I will struggle with it forever. What happens afterwards, and that's what I said earlier. Wouldn't it be great if you had a death date?
Hmm.
When you were born, you say, this is the date you're going to die. Imagine the whole human race
God.
would be different. There'd be parties every single fucking day of people. Right, I'm dying tomorrow. Let's fucking party it up. You party it up, and then they go off and die.
Ishak. What's Ishak talking about? If you're dead, you don't know what's happening. You just can't. So what? They give it ice in
That's
your
just a
body. You're
stupid
dead.
idiot
You're gone. It's finished.
phrase. What is a What is it? ISIS hospital.
I think it's just
Well,
that. That's just yeah, just an
I think
analogy.
I think to
Worst case
fear death,
scenario.
I think to fear death is normal. I think to be honest, I would like to go peacefully in my sleep. I don't want to go in pain or
Hey P.
cancer ridden crap and just being controlled by drugs just to hold the pain back. I would like to just go to sleep and never wake up again.
That's the one I don't want. That right there is
Why?
one I don't want.
What
I want to
what do you
know.
want?
I
What
would.
do you want? Carried about in a chair
The
in your
end
hospital?
is approaching. I would want to know that. I wouldn't want to
do you want it
just.
painful?
No, not painful, of course not.
Well,
But
how would you like it then? I mean, the best way is to just fall asleep and never wake up
I
again.
never wake up.
That is the best way to go. This is every single person in the comments, every single other person on YouTube, and every other single person on the world.
Oh gosh, look
all
at
going to end up the
Nick,
same, dead.
Nick Geek Out says fear death. And hello P, good to see you guys here. No, I welcome it. Well, I'm ready to get off this planet. This place sucks. Now that's something I can't say. That's something you would never hear me say. Because
you're not
in the future, I don't know,
you're
but
not
I
getting
still.
Off this planet. We're not getting off this planet. We're chopped up or burnt up or whatever.
Dead or alive. We're stuck here.
If you're burnt up in the cremation, you may end up a little bit in the atmosphere. That would probably would be a good place, get in the atmosphere and spread yourself around the world and visit the planet. That might be quite good. Obviously, you would be donating to global warming. But now a lot of places now they're burying people standing up because there's no room for people to be buried anymore. So people who want to be buried, they're getting buried.
I want to be cremated. I don't want to be buried. Oscar, what are your thoughts?
I agree with Doug. It doesn't matter where it comes, but I don't think I'd rather not be in any type of pain or suffering during the
and it's coming.
Oh, definitely. It's a matter of when, right? The problem is how, right? So sleeping is the best way, right?
Is it the best way?
It is the best way because you're conflating two things. You're conflating external security in the sense of your family members,
right?
Yeah, versus going immediately. You conflating going with knowing when to go. For example, you say, "Oh, I want to know when." Okay, you know when, but that's the same as sleeping that night and not waking up. The difference is that you know exactly when, regardless of your bodily status, i.e., pain or not pain or whatever, right? So, if you keep your day-to-day life in check, yeah, you pay this, you pay that, you know what I mean, and everything's paid off, and then you got a will or whatever, then what's wrong? You know what I mean? Just
do you ever feel like do you ever feel like is it really worth carrying on when it's all we're all going to die anyway, so let's just get it over and like I've heard people say, oh, I want to be old, I want to, well, not extremely, I don't want to be 100. No,
you mean not. Terminated prematurely?
I mean, I'm looking at least 70, maybe more. My grandmother is still alive. She's 94. Her sister is still alive. She's 95.
Can I just
know about that?
Can I just mention P in the chat who said, "Oh, death, where's thy sting? Oh, grave, where's thy victory?" Sounds like Shakespeare, but that's actually the Bible. I believe
that's in the Bible.
I believe it's Corinthians. I believe
that's in the Bible. That
memory serves me right. It is Corinthians, yes.
Oh, and P said here. P said, it may interest you to look at Michaela Peterson's channel, which has a short video on an ex-atheist turned Christian's take. Hang on. So an ex-atheist probably didn't believe in hell and heaven now has decided to go down the route of uh, hell and heaven and fearing hell, and the Christianity says narrow is the path that leads to heaven. So the chances of you going to heaven in Christianity are very, very slim. Why would I want to choose the Christian version of things? Why would I choose that one?
I'd just like to also say hello, Randall. Fashionably
Is
late as
Randolph there?
usual.
Oh, hello, Randolph. Yeah, so yeah, I still fear death, I think. And I would say that it does stem from the fear of hell. Um I mean, when we were young, we were introduced to the concept of hell as young kids. We would be taken to church to go and watch the burning hell and all these movies that show you what goes on in hell. And when they're done with the movie, and usually it's at night when it's all dark and eerie, and you know by the time they're done, they would do an altar call where everyone has to come and give their lives to Christ. And you see us little kids were out there crying and crying. We don't want to go to the place where we just watched. Oh, because that the trauma. Do you know, after watching that movie, go home, I would not be able to sleep at night. I think that's where the fear of dying and not waking up, that's where it actually started. Because by the time we get home, I'm still really scared from the movie what we just watched. And the question, because they part of the altar call, what they used to say is, um, if you die tonight, where will your soul go? You better come forward and give your life to Christ, so that if you die in the middle of the night, at least you're guaranteed to. So that's, I think I've worked it out. That's where that fear of just going to sleep and not waking up, right? And where will your soul go? And this and that, that's where all that started from. It's still
You
it's
see,
still it's still quite a journey though. The whole deconversion and trying to make sense of life without a God
I get that,
belief. It
Esther.
takes it takes ages for some people.
I get that I get where religion comes from, where they ease that part of death, where they say, there's an afterlife where you'll go and meet all your old friends and family and
Nothing like
animals and
and
things like that.
right?
That's a sort of beautiful thing about religion. But obviously, there's that hatred that if you don't abide by their rules through life, you're never going to
Mm-hmm,
get there.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But also, we have this apprehension of what will happen when we're not here. We've got a
Yeah.
life. People have relied on us. Our children relied on us. This and that. How will they survive without us? Who will pay these bills and whatnot? And how will things go? And that other
Mm,
side. But at the end of
yeah.
the day,
And Doug,
it's
Doug,
just black.
I've got
Who
Doug.
really
Hang
gives
on,
a fuck? I'm
Doug,
sure they'll survive.
Doug, Hang on. I've got an autistic child.
Yes.
And that's one huge, very major concern for me, because I'm his what you here in the UK they call you the primary. Since me and his dad were not together, and we've got the court order, what do you call it, the custody order. I'm his primary what is it, the primary, well, the primary parent. I
You're the
get to make
primary
his,
carer, yeah.
yeah, I get to make the day-to-day decisions. I get to
Absolutely.
yeah, everything, like his school, his those sort of decisions that need to be made on his behalf. I make them because I'm his primary. So I think that's one huge concern for me, is leaving behind my autistic child. Oh, I don't
See,
know.
See, and this is the fear of death for us. For your average human being, the fear of death is, and any human being that says, "I'm not scared of death," is full of shit. That's what I'm saying. And people say, "Oh, you came in this world with nothing, you go out with nothing." But no, I'm going out with my name. And I hope I will be remembered to some extent by my family and my wife and my friends and acquaintances I've made. Say, "Oh, remember that silly Scouse kid? He had that stroke and he was a prick. He always said the wrong thing." That'll be me, and I'll be happy with that. People that I'm remembered. Other than that, once your eyes close and they never open again, that you know, your apprehensions and worries of what will happen to your children or the people you care about or what will their lives be become it's literally irrelevant, because no one you won't know, no one will care, or you won't care. You're dead. As long as you're remembered, that's all I worry about in death.
Oh well, you know.
If you can
However
get
much,
rid of that worry, if you can get rid
yeah.
of that worry of what life will be without you,
Mhm.
you know, you need to look beyond yourself and look at people who have died. You know,
Yeah.
how did life affect you when they went? Did your life change? Did their life change? Did his life change? Her life change? You need to look beyond that and think, well, no, we got on with it. And it's a simple fact, we did get on with it. But it is still that personal apprehension of dying that scares us all, and it always will scare us all. And
You know
I guess
something.
it's scarier to
However,
be an atheist than a religious person, because religious people think they're going to go to sit in a cloud with lesbians and whatever and candy floss, you know, wherever they want to go, wherever they
well,
like.
some are going to meet 72 virgins.
Yeah, but these are the suicide bombers.
Oh God.
Yeah, but hold on. They have not stipulated the gender.
Have they
No,
not?
they're
It says
female.
virgins.
No, they're
How?
female.
No, they're female virgins,
Oh, it said
right?
Of course they
virgins,
are.
right?
They're Islamic virgins, so they're
Ah.
female. There's no gay in Islam.
No. I didn't say gay. You could be a virgin male, right? Technically.
Oh yeah, the female.
Right. So a virgin is virgin.
Why would you want to be
He's
a
Allah
female
surprise,
virgin?
surprise! You're gonna have 50 fucking males, and
Yeah, you're a female suicide bomber. You're gonna have 72 virgin males destroying your vagina.
Right.
Basically,
right.
Wait, but I thought that when you get to heaven, you're not a physical being. You're a spiritual. So is this spiritual sex? Is this some kind of spiritual coitus going on, or what?
If you're an Islamic suicide bomber,
don't
you just plonk yourself into
vagina.
mincemeat. So your penis doesn't even exist. It's just a
Exactly. There are no vaginas in the spiritual bodies and whatever this thing is supposed to be, right? So if you're going to be this somehow spiritual, where's the sex coming from? I think someone just lied to these people, and to think that some people just go blow themselves up because they're waiting to go have sex with virgins. I don't know. It's like they don't ask the question.
Spice Girl fans as well. Who'd want to live with that? Who would want to live for eternity with 72 women? I wouldn't. Certainly, that would be hell for me. I'm telling you, that would be absolute hell.
Absolute hell.
Well, that's going to only happen 72 times. After that is normal 72 women.
But we
No,
Imagine
but
that.
the virginity is
where
renewed.
the number 72 came up. Where did 72 come up?
No, Oscar, they
No,
said the
this was it.
virginity is renewed.
It can't. That's physically impossible, right? I
It
mean,
makes
do
no
they want to
sense.
do they want to deceive themselves as well? I mean, apart from being ignorant, yeah, do they want to be mega ignorant as well?
They all look the same as well. They've all got the black long back dresses on. They look like bowling pins with the little windows for the eyes.
So, Ishak, what do the women get if the men get 72 virgins? No, this is a serious question, which I think Muslim women need to ask the scholars and the clerics. If the men are getting 72 virgins, what are the women? Are they getting knitting yarn, or are they going to be crocheting, or what are they going to be doing? Making the beds, or what? Sleeping with the virgins. What are the women going to be getting? Or maybe they'll be doing some gardening or something. I don't know.
Well, where I live, I mean, good luck in finding 72 fucking virgins.
You know what? You know what? Dean nailed it. Dean is the wisest one here.
So easy. That's why I like Dean.
Yeah,
Jack. I'm not. Okay.
That's very true, right? You want something that knows what to do. That's the one.
The two virgins.
It is.
I want 72 tramps. Oh my.
Well, this is
Oh,
it. We're going back to human beings being non-monogamous.
You know what? If you're going to if you want to play a game, you want to be a footballer. Yeah, you want your colleague to be a footballer, right? Not a somebody that came from outside. Okay. Yeah, a newbie. You don't want a newbie playing with you, because you expect at least the same level or superior.
Playing field, yes.
Imagine.
Listen, that's because you want to have a lot of fun, and I don't fault you for that.
That's a point. I mean, imagine the fighting between the women. You got 72 women fighting for their night. Well, it's my turn.
Oh, yes. Look at this. That the women get what they imagined or wished. Oh. But of course they didn't provide details. Of course.
Yeah.
You think these people were interested in what women thought or wished?
If that's not the definition of misogyny, then I don't know what
that's
fucking thing.
misogyny 101.
Islam is.
It's
a disgusting bribe for these people to fucking blow themselves to smithereens and take many innocent people with them.
Yeah, even Jesus. When Jesus gave this parable, right? Jesus talked about the parable of the virgins and the bride and the brides and the bridegroom, right? He talked about the bridegroom coming for 10 brides, and I'm thinking, why 10? Why this kind of a parable? Why would Jesus choose 10 brides? I mean, you need to understand that some of these misogynistic values and things actually stem from these books. This idea women were not even counted during Jesus's time. Women didn't bother too much about women. It's really sad,
Esther,
in my opinion.
Esther, this is for you, Randolph. Right? Seriously, this is for you, Randolph. About the comment about the 720 Willie Mel. Right. It is not for the fulfillment of the Islam. It's for them to be fulfilled.
Fulfilling who?
But no, that's the one. He's saying that. So if the woman imagine 720 willing male
virgin slaves,
will that be fulfilled in Islam? No, not in Islam.
Yeah.
It will be fulfilled in her.
Okay,
I
in her.
Yeah, because the idea is for the male to have 72 wives, so he will be fulfilled.
Yeah, but to have 720 to blow yourself up as a female and have 720 willing
I was talking
virgin
sexually,
males.
fulfilled.
How many? What
Fulfilled.
afterlife would she have?
Okay.
Because she would have a headache most nights. Oh, not tonight. No. Put it away. Seriously, not tonight.
You know something, guys. You know something.
My vagina looks like
Apparently,
a
when you
dustbin.
go to heaven, you're going to be in the presence of God. So all this coitus and sex and this is all going to be happening. His present, he's going to be there. Maybe he's a voyeur. Is it voyeur? That's how you call it, right?
Yeah,
You know he's a
where
voyeur.
he be
He watches you
and
poop.
huh?
He watches you poop. He watches you do everything. He's watching.
So you're going to have these 72 virgins in his presence. Fantastic. In the presence of God.
This is, they portray this God as this all-seeing, all-knowing person. Why didn't he invent the Tesla 2,000 years ago?
Oh, come on.
Why did he make people shit in holes?
Like I said,
Jesus,
why would they have
crap?
Why would they have in the Bible and all these things that should not be found in a holy book? They should have at least try and put in. They should have told us how the world began. Not their idea. I mean, what I'm saying is they should have talked about how
the beginning. It began in the beginning.
In the beginning.
You know how it began.
Okay.
It began in the beginning.
In the beginning.
God created the heaven and the earth.
The beginning.
What you mean on the first day? You mean?
It's just.
In the first day without a sun, is that what you mean on a 24-hour cycle?
Yeah, he did it in the dark. He did the first two things in the dark. That makes God pretty awesome, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know.
The first 2 days in the dark, then he
invented. Yeah, but if it's in the dark, there's no 24-hour cycle, regardless.
But he invented the earth, the heaven and the earth in the dark. How cool is that?
Yeah, but how long? How long was the dark?
No. Let me tell you what's cool. What's
3
cool
days.
is
2 days.
Let me tell you.
The light.
Let me tell you what's cool. What's cool is who was the one recording these events? Who? Because Moses wrote the. Sorry. Moses Genesis, and we all know. There was no Moses. There was no human. There was nothing.
Moses was a convicted murderer.
Okay, that is a story for another day. But cool thing about this whole thing is no one to record these events, but somehow Moses knew all about it. He knew what God said after creating everything. God sat there, looked, created, and said, it's all good. Yeah. I've done well. I should pat myself on the back for a job well done.
No.
I think you should have gone. Maybe
it wasn't well done. It wasn't well done. It was good, because
it was
well
good.
Done would be.
Wait, hang on.
Yeah, what's the difference between good and excellent or awesome?
Wait.
Well, we know it wasn't good because he killed everything after. Hang on. Years, he killed everything. He thought,
how can God?
Let me kill anyone. Let me just get Noah and his family, and his sons and his daughters, 7 of them. Let's just start again. Get every animal.
Wait, how can God, right? Listen, this is just my thoughts. How can God finish all this hard work in 7 days, however long, how many days he created? did all this fantastic job, turns around, looks at everything he's created, says, wow, amazing, I did a good job. And then turns around and destroys, plants the thing what would destroy the good work he has just done, right? If he looked at his creation and thought that they were all good, why not just leave it at being good? Why then create this thing that would destroy the good thing? What, I don't understand it. It's like guys, just imagine someone, you build a skyscraper, right? After building it, you look and think, wow, amazing. And then you go on to go and build the what do you call that thing that knocks buildings? What's that thing? You know that thing that you used to uh to destroy buildings. What's that big round ball like thing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can you imagine after creating, after building that, then you now turn around and go and drive a truck and drive the what do you call that thing, that big sugar?
Yeah, they use that as pendulum. If you were,
yeah, that thing, you just go and then destroy the very, what was the point in creating it? What was the point in building it?
Because it was only good. It wasn't excellent. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
Or perfect. What is a higher thing than good? Could it be something better than good?
But you do know that Christians believe that there are three wills of God. There are three. Will. There's the acceptable will, and no, wait, hang on. The good will, acceptable will, and the perfect
Wrecking
will.
ball.
So your goal should, you should aim to achieve God's perfect will. You can get away with his acceptable. Okay,
What was his perfect will, Esther?
I don't know which. As long as you fall in between, you're all right. But your ultimate goal, that will, you want to fit into God's will. But anything outside these three wheels, oh my, your life would just be a disaster. Yeah, Sunday school. Oh yeah, it's a wrecking ball. Yes. It is a wrecking ball. Thank you.
Randolph says about the golf award. Yeah, Randolph.
What did Randolph say?
I like Randolph.
Noah had the best business connections,
but
his
I'd like
Copperwood
to know
supplier
where.
didn't.
Yeah, I'd like to know where all this wood came from for the ark, because we're talking about deserts, and these weren't deserts for 6,000, even 20,000 years, according to Ken Ham, up to 20. We're talking, these were deserts for millions of fucking years. Millions of years. These were all these deserts in Africa and the Middle East. They were just sand, and this is what I'd like to know, where the wood comes from. It's always a thing that it's always gotten me. It was one of the questions I asked in the Catholic school, to be fair. Which, I got beaten for that, but it was worth it. It was worth it.
G-Man said that because someone asked G-Man, where did the kangaroos come from? And G-Man said, the kangaroos from Australia. How did they get to Noah, right? And he said, the world had the beginning had just started. So he doesn't think that the animals had procreated all the way to Australia, right? He thinks that there were no animals in Australia. They were all centered locally around the where the ark was found. animals
found
were
in,
just
on Mount
around, just there.
Ararat in
Yeah.
Turkey.
So that's where all the animals in the world were. There were no animals up in Australia and things like that. So that's
Well, it's been pretty much established, Esther, that life
okay.
started mainly in Africa, or what we call Africa now. But if you look at any map of the Earth, it's basically, if you squash it all together, if you look at it, you squash it all together, you can it will basically squeeze into one big continent, which probably what it was, millions of years ago. But obviously tectonic plates and things like that, they've been moving over millions and millions and millions of years. Gives us what we have now. The UK will probably disappear over the next million years. A lot of land mass will, but other land masses will be formed, and it's just the way the world works. Just because we know the UK is eroding, we've seen it erode. We've watched houses fall into the sea, especially on coastal waters. We've watched land erodes. But the only place where I've seen where the actual gap, if you squeeze it, is the Gulf of Mexico, which this is my opinion, I believe. I'll always go with the meteor that killed the dinosaurs. I believe it landed right in the Gulf of Mexico, and that became the Gulf of Mexico and killed the dinosaurs. But that's just my opinion, whether I'm right or wrong. Well, I don't care. I'm not a scientist, but that's my thoughts.
Here's
But
the big question. Here's the big question. Lots of people worship different versions of what they call God, and dependent on the God you worship is what kind of path one will walk. Which one is right? That's the question.
Anyone who worships a god, I believe, is a deluded path, because unless you question the existence, then I don't think you're being true to yourself. Just to follow and believe in this God, it makes you, well, it makes you an idiot. It makes you a it makes a person. It's hard not to insult anyone. Well, anyway, following a God without questioning it, or following something that you have no evidence of, it is, you're just deluding yourself. It's a delusion.
Yeah.
And
well,
I think you need to question why, question your own existence. Don't question, I understand that people think we're here for a reason, and there's a goal at the end of it, but there really isn't. People say, oh, the universe is fine-tuned. Yes, it is fucking fine-tuned. But, we're talking billions of years of fine-tuning. That's why we can predict things. We can predict, 5,000. Look at Stonehenge. That predicts eclipses. They say it's over 5,000 years old. Some say it's over 10,000 years old. But that predicts eclipses, and it still does to this day, very day, because the moon will not break orbit from planet Earth for another 50 billion years. By then, Earth would have been engulfed by the sun anyway. And we can predict this. We can see it. We know it's happening. It's not fine tuning, and it's not a chaotic system. We can predict it that it's fine tuning, because we can predict it because the universe is so fucking huge and massive that it's, the people say, oh, the planets are moving this far, but they're not. It's the space in between the planets that is moving. It's not the planets that are moving. and people can't comprehend this. It's hard for people to comprehend it. And this is what allows us to predict where things will be in a million years' time, or billion. We know the universe has got about 80 billion years left before it dies. You know, the heat death of the universe is about 80 billion years. But humanity, our Earth, tiny little speck in a whole universe, is nothing. And we've got, well, we say we've got, before the sun engulfs us, is about 3 to 5 billion years away. But I think humanity is doomed.
Well, we
The next,
we won't be here to see and witness all that.
Oh, we won't be. The next 20 generations, I think, will be struggling. And I know people think Elon Musk is a prick, but he's got the right idea. You know, we need to stop using these oils and fossil fuels and fracking and trying to get this fucking burn it into the atmosphere fuels that we know will work. We need to. But that's just me being, you know, I'm being optimistic that people will. And vegetarianism as well. Vegetarians have got some sort of idea that, you know, eating meat is bad for the environment. It is bad for the environment. But we need to, you know, there is a big balance. We've always been carnivorous. We've always, or omnivorous we are. You know, because I actually sometimes crave a salad if I've eaten too much meat. I like a salad.
Right, guys. I have to. I'm gonna have to go. I can feel myself falling asleep. I don't want to sleep on stream, so. Doug, I really appreciate the conversation. We can go on and on and on and on, but we've been here 3 hours, 36 minutes. No way. And it's nearly 1 a.m. over here. So, right.
Yeah,
so
three people from the UK, funny enough.
Yeah, we're all from the UK.
Amazon
all
now,
from the UK.
All the James Bond films on, so I'm going to watch a Bond film.
You're going to watch a film tonight?
I'm going to fall asleep to a Bond film.
Oh, okay, right. I bet the missus has gone to bed.
She's not here.
Okay.
She went to see my daughter a couple of nights ago, and she's had to stay there.
Oh, so you're.
I don't want to get into obviously my weird life, but yeah, she has to stay there to help out, which which is I'm cool with that.
Okay.
But she will be back tomorrow.
Good.
In fact, I'll probably get out. I'll probably get her on at some point just to say hi. But she wants nothing to do with my sad little life on YouTube.
Oscar, has the missus gone to bed?
Of course. This is my free time.
This is okay, right.
Funny enough, and weirdly enough, I'm going to do a dog event as well.
You're watching a movie too?
No, I'm downloading a movie.
God. Okay.
Right.
What download? That means you know you got Amazon.
Actually, funny enough, I do have Amazon, but I need to go downstairs, and disturb the lady. So I said, "Nah."
Oh no! Do not disturb. Do not disturb the lady.
Oh no, she got a sign. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Well, Netflix have gone up to like £11 now a month. 11 quid a month.
We have Netflix.
And yeah, it's gone up 11 quid. It's gone and Amazon is 8 quid. And it's basically got everything that Netflix has got. Netflix sold out when they got rid of all their like Jessica Jones and The Punisher and that. They sold that to Disney.
But
now
Torrent has got all the films.
Every single James Bond film. Every single James Bond film.
The Torrent The torrent industry has got all the films in the world.
Which one?
Yeah, I don't want to go on to torrent now. It's illegal.
Torrent.
What industry? What did you call it?
Torrent. It's
Torrent is a download thing.
It's illegal, Esther.
Oh, is it?
I
Oh,
don't
no,
go
no,
down
no,
that
no.
illegal route.
No. Not
I
interested.
don't go down that. I'd like to pay. I like to pay my way in life. I don't want to go down and
Don't want to be a
legally
grifter.
download
A
video.
grifter like Gman buying a house for $1. Ugh.
Yeah, I even have
That's a
Amazon.
different ballgame.
I have
That's a
Amazon
different
Music and I have Spotify, and I pay for both of them just so I can have the music. I will
Yes.
not download free. Torrent is illegal, and I like to think I'm doing. Does that make me a bad person? Not wanting to do illegal things?
Oh, the Afro minutes. Monday is a holiday. Okay, interesting. In
Right.
Canada,
Pirate life
Victoria
is
Day.
real, but I've got the
Oh,
money to.
enjoy.
If I was ever
Enjoy,
skint, then I
Randolph.
would buy it.
Pirate. What are you talking about? Pirate life is real.
Torrent.
Oh,
Downloading
Ding
torrent.
knows the score.
Torrent is downloading. It's pirate videos and pirate life.
the flying
I know.
spaghetti
I have
monster
to
would be
admit,
proud
I
of
must
you.
admit, when I was younger, I did delve into downloading the odd song and things like that. But now I can pay for it. When I can't pay for it, I may go back to that. But
Okay.
until then, I will go to the cinema and pay my way.
That's it. You're a good citizen. We need more people like yourself, Doug. Some people would go through life. They want to not pay for stuff. They want to get everything for free.
I think I would be called a schmuck in America.
Entitled.
Called a schmuck.
Listen, if the government
freeloader
deducts my wages 27%, right?
What?
And builds and HS2, right, and make the rich people richer. Excuse me. Do you understand?
Oscar, mate, you're a lorry driver. You earn a fucking fortune.
That's true. That's true.
You're saying that lorry drivers earn a fortune. I'm changing my profession next week.
Lorry drivers at this moment in time are earning a fucking
I'm going to be driving a lorry. Well, I don't have a lorry license.
Listen, I'll tell you a secret. Well, secret, fuck it. I'm doing. I just finished a course. It's called AP. Appointed person. You have seen me on my crane, right? Doing for this stupid fucking asshole daft dog kids, right? So the AP is the one who does the lift plan to approve the lift in restricted areas, or like the HS2, right? Yeah, high speed train 2, right? So I will know if I pass in 2 weeks' time, because it's a hell of a lot of fucking maths and drawings and things like that. It's quite technical, right? So I don't know if I pass or not. I think I've done good enough to pass. I don't know. Yeah, but that I would like to have that fucking title under my belt.
And it comes with extra money, yes?
Well, I will actually. Well, it's yes and no. I mean, you have to say, listen, if you want me to do the lift plan, because the appointed person is the highest person responsible for whatever happens down the line, and you are the last one. So you're the one. You will have to be talking to the judge. Put it that way. Yeah, not the driver. So any shit happens, that's a serious amount of. It could involve death. It could go injury to whatever. You know what I mean? If calculations are done incorrectly. So yes, it is serious. And if I have to do a lift plan, I make a lift plan for a crane to do something, right? Especially if it's dangerous, I will definitely request a higher pay rise, or at least a pay to redact it. Yeah, because my main profession is driving first. Yeah, and then secondary would be the making the lift plan. But yeah.
Okay.
Anyway.
Well, guys, I've got to go. Thank you all. Coco Jasmine says, I only see 3 hours. Was this the end of Gman? Listen, we have long we stopped talking about Gman. He's not worth the trouble. He really isn't.
Sadly, Gman will never go away.
He wouldn't, but hey, never mind.
I don't want him to go away. I don't want to wish him to die or anything. But
No.
It'd be nice if he changed, wouldn't it? If he just realised what a prick I am, and then he changed. But that will never happen.
No.
Never happen.
No. Okay.
But
I think
that's what makes people, isn't it? Thank you, Esther.
That's true. That's true. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. And enjoy the rest of your night, morning, noon, whatever it is where you are. Yeah, thank you all for coming. Don't forget to do all the YouTube. The
like and
YouTube
subscribes and
yes.
whatnot. Yeah. Or dislike.
G-Man. G-Man will be in a 3-way debate on modern day. Oh, okay. Interesting. Right. Oh, that should be.
Well, you know what? Let me give you the last statement here about this silly bollocks G-Man, right? I have seen him in a previous. I don't know how back it was. I'm not looking forward for that, to be quite honest. And this is this is the reason why. No, and I'll tell you why. Only for one reason. Only for one reason. He does not respect the moderation. In other words, when he says, for example, no, I'm not interested in the question, and it was a fucking super chat. Do you understand what I mean? Right?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Right. So I'm zero interested on this piece of shit giving a commentary to in a formal debate, because he's not going to respect. And I said to you before, he does not respect, the other party, right? He's not coming into in a understanding that modern day debate doesn't do it for fucking fun. He does it to make money. As simple as that. And we appreciate that. We understand that, right? And we get entertainment value. But that piece of shit should think, right? It says, okay, I'm full of shit, but at least I'm going to respect my opponent, right? And I bet that would not be the case. I bet he would say, no. I don't know what the name of the modern day debate. That guy, right? G-Man would say to him, or Gary would say to him, no. I don't want. Yeah, that's nasty, man. That's nasty. That's low level bullshit. You know what I mean? That's low level bullshit. That's scam. And I'm sorry to swear in your channel, but I'm portraying what he is, right? And he's not honest. He's not going to.
He's not an honest interlocutor. Is it interlocutor? It's called?
Yeah, well, that's gonna. Eve is gonna be an interlocutor.
Yes,
because he's gonna be a piece of crap anyway. So yeah.
Anyway, guys, thank you all very much.
Can I quickly say just two things? Oscar has sworn a lot more than me tonight, Esther. I think
listen,
I am actually proud of him. Although he's not from the UK, he used silly bollocks right. He used that phrase right.
Swearing is not is the least of my concerns.
Is silly bollocks.
It's the least of my concerns. Swearing is allowed over here now.
Oh well, G-Man's a cunt then.
Thank you. Thanks for that. Yes. All right, guys. Thank you all very much, and good night. Good night, everyone.
Good night, Esther.
Good night. Let's do the listen, I'm just going to end it. I'm done. I'm tired. Good night.
Bye-bye.